Blue Jays will play Game 2 of this 3-game series from Target Field. Minnesota is trying to even things up and turn things around here tonight. It'll be Marco Estrada, the right-hander, going for Toronto. He's 2-2 this season. The ERA is at an even 6. Minnesota will counter with Kyle Gibson, 3.33 ERA. Kyle is coming off his best start of the season. Good evening from Target Field. Once again, I'm Marnie Gellner. You could say it about almost any team at any time, but it is so true for the Twins right now. They really need a good, strong, quality start. And Kyle Gibson might just be the guy to give it to them. Gibson is coming off a fantastic outing in New York where he took a no-hitter into the 6th inning. And Gibson finished that game with a career-high 10 strikeouts. He gave up just 1 hit in 6 innings against the Yankees. It was a great outing for Gibson, and it was dictated by executing one pitch in particular.
100% it was about fastball command. We've been working on it since day one, spring training, and without a doubt, his last 2 bullpens, his fastball command was getting better and better, and he was able to control the glove side fastball. So he kind of showed that in his games.
I don't know that my confidence has been, quite like this probably since 2015 when I was throwing the ball a little bit better. And it's been a long year and a half, 2 years to get here. But, just trying to work hard and keep that mentality where it needs to be and have confidence in the pitcher who I know in my mind I can be and allow that mentality, to kind of carry myself out to the mound and not let one pitch, one out, one hit, try to change that confidence, that mentality.
And Gibson is hoping to have that same fastball command tonight and use that to follow up the gem that he had in New York and give the Twins a strong start here tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. Max Kepler went 3 for 5 last night. Dick and Roy with more on Kepler locked in after this.
World. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. Game 2 between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. The Twins still with a chance to pick up a series win He did such a good job last year in the absence of Miguel Sano, and he's doing it again this year in the absence of Sano. Eduardo Escobar playing a good third base and really swinging the bat well. It's a beautiful night for baseball again at Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Roy Smalley as the Twins hope to get back into the win column. As the 2017 season wound down, a lot of guys were playing at an all-star level. Jorge Polanco was, Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton. But so far this year, the guy who's playing like an all-star is outfielder. We have to call him an outfielder, Max Kepler.
A lot of expectations for Max Kepler that as he gets more and more at-bats, he's going to be a very accomplished major league hitter. We're starting to see that now. You look at these numbers here in the last 17 games. So solid. 327 average, 9 extra base hits, 897 on base plus slugging. Last night was really the culmination of all those stats. He went down and got a curveball with 2 strikes, whipped it into the right field corner, ended up with a triple. Later on, he gets to another 2-strike count. They try a changeup, no good. He whipped that off the right field fence for a big double in the 8th inning. And then in the ninth, he's looking fastball against a hard-throwing closer and hits a bullet to right field. 3 different pitches, 3 different line drives to 2 doubles and a triple. He has not. How about this stat? How solid is he? Dick, he hasn't swung and missed a pitch in 17 straight plate appearances. I don't know how you do that.
In this day and age, that's incredible.
It is.
Well, Max Kepler and the Twins hope to get back into the win column. Kyle Gibson hopes to pitch them to a win here this evening as they hope to even this series at a game apiece. Twins. Today, the calendar turns. Minnesota Twins. Today, the calendar turns to May, and with that, there's hope that better things are still to come for a Twins team with high expectations in 2018. The hits are starting to come, and some starting pitchers have shown promise during this young season. The Twins look to put April behind them and start May with a win against the Jays. And the Twins in this homestand are just 1-3. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds. Lost the opener here last night. But in some sense, they've got the right guy on the mound because at times Kyle Gibson has been absolutely dominant, including his last start against New York. It's John Gibbons managing the Toronto Blue Jays. And Curtis Granderson's in the box, and we're going to get going here right away. Granderson, Hernandez, and Smoke here in the first inning against Kyle Gibson. And a first pitch strike. Anderson off to a good start in his first year with the Toronto Blue Jays. No longer a center fielder, at least not in Toronto with Kevin Pillar around. He's been playing a lot in left field. 1-1. Gibson didn't give up a hit in his 6th-inning outing against the Orioles. Picked up a win. He gave up just 1 hit over 6 innings to the Yankees in his last start. 1-1. And a check swing. 1 and 2. Take a look at our home furniture starting pitcher, and so far this year he's gotten off to a good start.
He's off to a great start. Key for Kyle Gibson. Second half of last year he started throwing 2 distinct fastballs, and it has turned everything around for him.
And a breaking ball gets a strikeout. The Menards batting order for the Blue Jays. Curtis Granderson has struck out. He's the leadoff man. Then Teoscar Hernandez, Justin Smoke, Yangervis Solarte. The Blue Jays scratched Steve Pearce, their designated hitter, about 45 minutes before game time. Kevin Pillar is hitting 5th. Gurriel is hitting 6th. Kendrys Morales inserted into the lineup, hitting 7th. And then Maile and Diaz rounded out. 1 down. And a first pitch strike, and that's a big part of what we've seen from Gibson too. Throwing strikes on the first pitch of an at-bat.
When he started throwing the 2 different fastballs and hitters couldn't sit on just the sinker, all of a sudden he got so much more confidence just to throw the ball over, because he knew that he was fooling hitters with fastballs. And normally you don't do that. Guys have 1 fastball, and hitters can just sit on that trajectory or the 4-seamer or whatever it is. But when they're unsure, the pitcher knows that.
Ball inside. All right, as succinctly as you can, explain to the viewers the difference between a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer.
Sure. As we a 2-seamer, basically, because he holds the ball across 2 seams instead of 4, it is the running. It's the sinking, running fastball. A 4-seamer, he holds across the 4 seams, and that one right there, then it's more straight and rides up.
Ball carrying all the way to the wall, and Kepler makes the catch. Gave that a long ride. That looked like, to me, a medium deep fly ball when it left home plate. 2 down.
Boy, last night was the first time this year that the ball seemed to be carrying here at Target Field, and that one really did as well.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Rosario in left, Kepler in center, Grossman in right. It'll be Escobar again at third base, with Sano going on the disabled list today. Adrianza Petit up the middle with Mauer at first and Garver behind the plate. Just called up in time for the game today, with Miguel Sano going on the disabled list. Gregorio Petit is in at second base. Interesting defensive alignment by the Twins. We've seen teams do it against Logan Morrison, but they've got 4 outfielders and 3 infielders swung to the right side. All of this for Justin Smoke, who's as much of a pull hitter as anybody who's ever played the game. So he tries to bunt and bunts it foul, 1 strike. And a pop foul, and there's nobody in the, well, Gibson comes over, actually gets within 15 feet of it. And Garver was over there as well. 2 down. Pizza Ranch for the win. What do the Twins have to do to get into the win column?
Well, they need a great start from Kyle Gibson, no question about it. And what does Kyle Gibson have to do? Get some swinging strikeouts. He has now developed the ability to get out of innings with the strikeout when he wasn't able to do that very much in the past. You can see he now has 19 swinging strikes, the 3rd most in his career, and he's doing it with all different kinds of pitches, but they're all being set up with his ability to command the 2 fastballs that he's throwing now.
2 strikes to Smoke. Inside. If you count Petit, who's the second baseman, but he's actually playing in short right field, there are 5 outfielders. Only 2 players, only 2 fielders are on the dirt of the infield. 1-2 to Justin Smoke. And now 2-2.
We're going to have Justin Morneau in with us again tonight. It's going to be fun again because you ask about the two-seamer and the four-seamer, and we talk a lot about what the difference is and why they're two distinct pitches. And Justin and I are going to talk about that as hitters, what that does.
Off-speed pitch gets a strikeout. Gibson has another 1-2-3 inning.
Uses them all, gets him with a change.
Not so much. And the Menards batting order for the Twins. Twins trying to win a ball game without Byron Buxton, Miguel Sano, or Brian Dozier in the starting lineup. Brian getting a day off. Robbie Grossman leading off. The Joe Mauer, Max Kepler, Eduardo Escobar, Eddie Rosario, Mitch Garver, Logan Morrison, Ray Adrianza, and Gregorio Petit. And here's Marco Estrada, the starter for the Blue Jays. Twins hitters saw a good changeup last night from Aaron Sanchez, and they'll see another good one tonight from Estrada.
They are fastball changeup pitcher. He'll throw a curveball and a slider, but he's a fastball changeup pitcher, no question about it.
And 2 in the dirt to Grossman. Grossman seems suited to be a leadoff batter because he takes a lot of pitches, doesn't have a world of speed, but figures to take some pitches, which should help those hitting behind him in the batting order. 2-1. Or has that responsibility gone by the wayside as well as so much of what we've come to know in baseball traditionally?
I don't think it has. I think that's still important, and I think it's a great role that a good leadoff hitter will play. And what has changed is the lack of prototype leadoff hitter now. And,
right.
You know, I mean, you got all kinds of guys, but basically you want guys who can get on base, and Robbie can do that.
3-2.
You know, we don't have all of the the Willie Wilsons and the Brett Butlers and Ricky Henderson. Well, Ricky Henderson was a true anomaly because he was like Brian Dozier power with a could steal 100 bases a year.
Liner to the shortstop Diaz. So Grossman saw 6 pitches, hit the ball hard.
Right. So we look at Brian Dozier as one kind of leadoff hitter for this team. Bryce Harper is leading off tonight for the Nationals. There's a completely different type of leadoff hitter, but it's hard to find the perfect guy, but you can find a perfect guy for your team, and so that has really changed.
Here is Joe Mauer with 1 down. Expect Mauer to take some pitches as well. takes down and in a ball. Regarding the Bryce Harper move to lead off, at least in the first inning, that would give other teams some pause about walking him, right? I mean, that you wonder whether that might not have been part of the reason for Dave Martinez to put him up there. He's been walked so often. This ball lifted foul down the left field line, 1-1.
Well, you absolutely want to put Bryce Harper or anybody like that in front of a hitter or two that can do damage if Bryce Harper walks. Absolutely. And not only that, but you get him up guaranteed 4 times and maybe 5. So you've got a dynamic hitter that can get, that's going to get a lot of at bats in the ballgame.
And Mauer takes a ball, 2-1. And now 3-1 with Kepler on deck.
It's funny, isn't it, what all players, but pitchers especially, will the idiosyncrasies and that they'll use. And Marco Estrada here with the peekaboo behind the glove, all these, he's just focusing right over the glove, I guess, at the target he wants to hit.
A high blast to deep right center field, and Mauer has hit his first of the year, and the Twins take a 1-0 lead. Don't see Joe pull the ball that often, but he hit it over the big wall in right center.
He's a strong guy with a bat in his hands, and when he decides he wants it, he can get a pitch to pull. More and more we've seen Joe able to elevate high fastballs and hit them out all over the ballpark. He generally had been a low ball hitter, but boy, what a pretty swing that was. Not a lot of guys can get the big end of the bat to the ball and a fastball up there, but pretty swing from Joe.
1-0, and now 1 strike to Max Kepler. We got 3 extra base hits in the ball game last night, and a breaking ball 0-2. Paul Molitor was saying, you know, maybe the hardest ball that Kepler hit last night was the one Pilar caught in the gap in left center field.
I don't know, that laser he hit off the wall there in the 8th inning that was something.
And Kepler takes. We just saw him swing and miss for the first time in 18
plate appearances. What's wrong with him? He must be slumping.
1-2. And a good take again, 2-2. I want you and Justin to talk about Kepler, and I know you will when he comes up. Talking with James Rouse, and I said, what are some of the things you've seen that Max is doing better? And he mentioned using his legs more, getting a better foundation. So now it's 3-2. I want both you and Justin, when he comes up here, to try to explain to the viewers what that means. Sure. And how that can impact your swing.
Sure.
Full count.
I'll wait for that other hitter to get on up here.
Foul tip. And Kepler still alive. Estrada's already thrown 17 pitches. All the plate appearances have gone to 3 balls. How about that? Fell behind. Actually swung and missed, and he still ends up at first base. He's aboard for Escobar. Northland Ford defense for the Jays. Curtis Granderson in left, Kevin Pilar in center, Teoscar Hernandez in right, Solarte, Diaz, Gurriel, Smoke, Luke Mailey doing the catching for game 2. And now Escobar, 2-run home run to straightaway center field, the highlight of his night last night. Down and away, ball 1.
Yeah, I wasn't being facetious or kidding about that last night and the way the ball was carrying. It was the first time that this year, decent weather, the ball was carrying really well, and Escobar hit a bomb to center field.
Didn't mean to. nobody to cover second base, so Kepler will advance with the shift on. And the play made by the shortstop Diaz on the right side of the infield. Kepler moves up a base on the check swing grounder. You don't realize when we talk about the infield shifts, it really gets complicated when there are men on base trying to turn double plays, and there's a hit to the outfield to get in position for the cutoffs and the relays and all of that.
It really is. It does mess with infielders and what their normal roles are. No question about it. So often you keep the shortstop on the left side because he's your best fielder and he can cover the most ground.
Rosario takes a strike.
But then you have the oftentimes the third baseman in the middle on a potential double play as the pivot guy, and he's not used to doing that. We saw that in a game in New York where the third baseman was not able to complete a double play, just not used to it.
1 strike to Rosario. Well, let's see how this plays out. In a weird way, the shift could lead to a Twins run because Kepler now is in scoring position and a single can score him instead of a double.
Well, there's no question that with the shift, there's some things that you take away and some things to which you're vulnerable. So it giveth and taketh away. It still is the best percentage against the hitters where you have the data that suggests that you need to shift. It's going to be successful most of the time. Hitters just don't change. I liked Smoke, who thought he could bunt over there to the left side with nobody over there. He couldn't do it.
2-1. Popped up down the left field line on a long run from Granderson. Diaz, Solarte, and Granderson can't quite get there.
Great effort.
A long run from where he was playing, the left-handed batter, and he couldn't quite get there in time.
But just back to the maybe bunt for a Smoke where they had absolutely nobody on the left side. And the reason that you shift is A, because they hit it to one place almost all the time. B, if you can say go ahead and bunt, that's not your game. You want to hit the ball in the ballpark, we'll let you go ahead and try and bunt. And then C, he can't bunt. He never does that, and so all he got was a foul ball strike out of the weak attempt.
A drive to deep right center field. Off the wall hard, and Rosario will go to second with an RBI double. It's 2-0.
Speaking of lasers, there was another one. Eddie Rosario getting a fastball in the middle of the plate and just hanging out a rope to right center. Watch this contact right in the middle. Swing shortened up. Eddie's been a little long, but this is the classic Rosario swing. Those hands bring the big end of the bat right to the ball. And the ball, when he hits on the barrel, the ball jumps. You'll see how much shorter. Watch this side swing. He lands, his front foot lands, his hands are back and ready, and then he brings the big end right to the baseball. Beautiful.
And now a strike called to Mitch Garver, hitting sixth and catching for the second game in a row. Jason Castro has had a right knee that's been squawking a little bit, so they gave him a couple of days off, and Jason said he's confident he'll be in the lineup for the series finale tomorrow. 1 strike to Garver. Got a couple of hits in the ball game last night. Ooh, Rosario skittering toward third, but Maley did a nice job blocking that pitch in the dirt. 1-1. Twins have hit some balls very hard against Marco Estrada. So far, a couple of runs on the board. And Garver chases upstairs. 1-2. 28 pitches for the Toronto right-hander. All starting with Grossman's 6th pitch at bat to start the ball game. Good take, 2-2. .29 pitches and only 14 strikes. Now another 3-ball count. There's a reason Estrada checked into the game with an ERA of 6. We might be seeing.
Twins have good, and consequently, Twins have a plan. They've done a nice job of making him get in the middle of the plate. They laid off pitches outside the strike zone, made him get right in the middle of the zone and hit him when they got him.
Breaking ball skied to the right side of the infield. Smoke makes the play. 6 batters come to the plate. 2 of them score. Joe Mauer hit his first home run of the season, and it's 2-0 Twins.
Here is our Sanford Health injury report. The Twins have placed Miguel Sano on the 10-day DL with a grade 1 hamstring strain. He did a little more testing today with the Twins, and that was the official diagnosis. And Paul Molitor mentioned, you know, this is dealing with a bit of a different hamstring than most people have. And as a corresponding move, the Twins called up Gregorius Petit. He is in the lineup playing second base tonight for the Twins, while Brian Dozier gets a night off. And Byron Buxton ran again on an anti-gravity machine, but not yet on the ground. He did play catch, which was one step forward for Buxton, still dealing with that hairline fracture in his big toe. Back up to Dick and Roy and Justin in the booth.
Thank you very much. 2-0 Twins, top of the second. A strike now, a ball, and Justin Morneau is joining us here again for a few innings, as he did last night. And the Twins have a 2-0 lead, and you taught Joe Mauer how to hit a home run, I understand, in the time you've been around.
Well, there's a reason I'm in the booth if he's still playing. So.
Start of a new month, so guys, let me ask you, it's just a cosmetic thing. It's, you know, you turn the calendar page, but can it do anything psychologically for you as you hope to forget about some bad baseball that you played in the last week and a half?
Well, I think the thing it does is let you know that it's not early anymore.
Yeah.
That old, we've been saying it, oh, it's still early, it's still early, it's still early, but it's not early. You have 5 months left in the season. If you dig yourself too deep of a hole, it's going to be really hard to climb out of it.
Yeah, it's a great point. On the other hand, as we watch this dribbler up the line, Joe making a nice play, coming in, getting a little short hop and taking it himself. But baseball players, as you know, Justin, will look for anything to say, okay, it's different now. Even if it's just another dead calendar page. The main thing for the Twins is, and we've talked about this a little bit, it's amazing what a well-pitched start will do for the momentum of a team. It just gets players immediately excited. Couldn't be anything better than Kyle Gibson come out and have a 1-2-3 first inning, and the Twins throw 2 runs up there on the board. See if Gibson can't follow that up with another good inning here. Twins hitters a chance to come in excited into the bench. Okay, now let's go get some more runs. We'll have some fun tonight.
And I think they're aware of what happened his last start. You know, he threw the ball so well, and you see him come out there, and you have that good feeling. You feel that momentum. It does carry over, and they always say momentum is only as good as your starting pitcher. Well, they were aware of how well he threw, you know, career high 10 strikeouts and all the rest of it. And they're expecting more of that, and they feel like if they get him a couple runs, he's going to give them a real good chance to win this ball game.
Pilar draws a 4-pitch walk. One down here in the second inning, and that'll bring up Lourdes Gurriel. It was something to behold. It was, as Aaron Boone said afterwards, the best start any opponent had pitched against the Yankees this year.
You know, as we talked about in the open, that two-seam fastball running in hard on right-handers makes them susceptible to the outside. Run it in, make them get the ball out of their kitchen, and then they get it anxious to get the bat head out, and they're vulnerable to the outside pitch. Change up, breaking ball, four-seamer out there, anything outside opens up with that two-seamer being pounded in on him, Justin.
And I think the thing that people have to understand on why pitching inside is so effective is that your contact point changes. Where you make contact with an inside pitch is different where you make contact from an outside pitch.
Yeah,
you're going to get to an inside pitch.
Feet.
Yeah, it's a big difference. I mean, to be able to turn and get the bat head out and hit it correctly and keep it fair, your contact point is out front of the plate. And when you hit the ball the other way, your contact point is almost on top of the plate on the corner. So you have, we always say, let the ball travel and whatever it is. If you're going to hit an off-speed pitch, you're going to hit a breaking ball moving away. If you're going to hit a fastball away, it's deeper in the zone. It's deeper on the plate. So when you're making guys conscious of you're pitching inside, I need to get the bat head out. I need to start my swing earlier. Then all of a sudden, the pitch that's not 95 that comes in at 82, you're so far out front, it's either weak contact or a swing and miss.
1-1 to Gurriel. That's hit to center, and it'll carry to Kepler, who makes a sprawling catch in center field. 2 down. Nice play by Kepler. And that'll bring up Kendrys Morales.
Well, he could play the outfield. There's no question about that. Doesn't matter where you put him. He's not a natural center fielder, but he's been playing like he is.
Bring up Morales. There was a time early in his professional career the Twins projected Kepler as a potential first baseman. And then when Joe Mauer got moved out from behind the plate to first base, that was pretty much the end of that discussion.
He's too good of an athlete to play first.
That's right. I was going to say that would be a waste of a lot of talent. Put a guy over there.
That's where they stick former catchers, guys they can't find any other positions for.
Throw to first.
First base is an easy position to play and a very hard position to play very, very well. And that guy right there and this guy sitting next to me, they developed themselves into outstanding first basemen.
And there was the old joke. I used to get TK going every once in a while. I'd say, it's okay, TK. You just got to drive in more than you let in.
I'm sure he really embraced that.
that was. You'd see that kind of vein pop out in his forehead, and he'd either throw his fungo in the air and walk away, or just kind of look at you and say, "Why am I wasting my time with you?" And I'd get a laugh out of it because TK liked to get on me too. So there wasn't much I could get TK going with, but that was one of my favorites.
1-0. And now 2-0.
We just showed that big number 14, their legacy of terrific first baseman here in Minnesota. Starting with that guy, Kent Hrbek.
Well, Tom kind of got spoiled because for a good part of his managerial tenure, Kent Hrbek manned first base, and then later on, Doug Minkiewicz.
Gold Glove. Yes.
Gold Glove winner.
Hrbek should have had at least one, and I think more than that.
2-1 to Kendrys Morales. Talking about Gibson starts this year, and the first one and the most recent one both very good. He also had a good role going against the Astros. 4 innings, shutout innings with just a couple of hits allowed, and the Twins got him a big lead, and he couldn't get out of the 5th. But he had handcuffed the Astro lineup just like he did the Yankee lineup, except for the hiccup in the 5th inning. 2-2.
Well, I want to talk with Justin a little bit more about the 4-seam and 2-seam fastballs he's throwing now, and the confidence that he's gotten with being able to fool hitters with just a fastball. There's two things have happened for Kyle Gibson. He's got confidence in his fastball, the two of them, and he's come up with the ability to get either swing and miss strikeouts or get back in counts. What we saw with Kyle Gibson before is once he got to 2-0 or 3-1, 2-1, when he really needed to throw a strike, he couldn't get that quality strike on the perimeter of the zone somewhere where he could get weak contact or get a take or get swing and miss, something to get back in the count or put a guy away. Now he's got some ability to do that with the arsenal that he's out there with.
Full count to Morales. And a base hit through the hole with the runner going. Pilar will gain third base, and the throw comes back to the infield. Good at bat for Kendrys Morales, and the Blue Jays have runners at first and third.
Well, here's a 2-seamer that didn't sink much. It moved a little bit away from Kendrys Morales. Guy's a professional hitter. He just went with that movement and hit the ball where the shortstop might have been had they not been shifted.
Luke Maile will bat. Maile off to a good start at the plate, as those numbers suggest.
This is where Gibson really needs to get out of this inning. He needs to find a way to make it out right here, because it seems like every time over the last however many games, the walks have really been the things that really hurt the Twins pitching staff. It's like no out walk, 2 out walk, whatever it's been, that guy's found a way to come around and score, and this is the shutdown that you need. Your team just gave you 2 runs. Get him back in the dugout, get the offense going. This is a big at bat right here.
And he hits the corner, 1-1.
And that's why I was saying earlier, Justin, in the Kyle Gibson before, you would always, it always went the same way. Here's what I'm talking about. Get back in the count with a quality pitch right on the inside corner after a 1-0 count. But it would always happen. He'd walk somebody, and then he couldn't find the strike zone or anywhere else but middle.
Down and away, 2-1.
And now he's starting to develop some confidence in either of the fastballs or some other pitch that can get him back in the count and then put somebody away finally when he gets in a little bit of trouble. We'll see if he can do that here in this inning, because you're right, this is big.
Trying to protect a 2-0 lead. Three and 1 with Aledmys Diaz on deck.
Wow, that's a good take. That's a quality pitch right there that the hitter that Maile just didn't offer at. You see a lot of swing and misses on that one. Going to have to make a pitch here. 3-1.
Snapped his bat, and it's 3-2.
And that's a great pitch right there. Sometimes you get afraid to pitch inside and hitters counts, but when you have that type of movement, that ball started pretty much down the middle, ran up under the hands, and it was still in the strike zone when he fouled it off. But you know, you're not gonna throw a middle in fastball there, so you want to make sure if you get it in, you get it in. But you know, with that type of movement, it's hard to lock in on something like that. Now he's opened up the outer part of the plate with that slider he had, that breaking ball he had working his last start, and the one that he threw 2-1 that was a really close pitch. He probably gets him to chase if he throws it again right here, but he's got him set up for both.
Yep, because of that inside fastball, he probably gets him to chase if he can throw it close, but he's coming in again.
And a tapper foul. Maile coming into the game hitting .351. He's fought off some tough pitches. He's taken some close pitches. Morales will take off again on this 3-2 pitch.
And it's interesting because you look at it and you go, okay, Russ Martin got off to a little bit of a slow start. He was struggling. He had a home run last night. Why is he not in the lineup? Well, sometimes pitchers like throwing to certain catchers, and you never know, and they probably want rest to catch the day game tomorrow. So, you know, being not too many catchers catch the day games after night games anymore, and it could be whoever's throwing tomorrow, could be they want rest behind the plate, whatever it is. But
wrapped to short. Nice big hop for Adrianza. He sets and fires. Inning and threat over. It's still 2-0. Showing some signs of breaking out of the slump, but he's doing it incrementally, just slowly getting the batting average into the closer to the 200 mark. He's got good numbers against tonight's starting pitcher Estrada, including 3 home runs. So it'll be the bottom third of the Twins lineup: Morrison, Adrianza, and Petit. And they got to wait a little bit here because the Blue Jays forgot who was leading off, and now they're into their version of the Morrison shift. And a strike on the outside corner. Brian Dozier struggling right now, just 3 hits in his last 32 at bats. And Brian got the day off, took some early batting practice, working on some things. Very likely, I would think, back in the lineup again tomorrow. Again, a changeup on the outside corner.
And I had a chance to talk to him before the game, and I talked to James Rouse, also the hitting coach, and they said that they feel like it's coming from the ground up. His legs, he said he felt like his stance narrowed up, and he wasn't using his legs the way he normally does, and his swing starts from his legs.
Popped up, foul ball, and out of play. Well, it's interesting because I teased that before you came on the air. I said because James Rowson said that's one of the reasons Kepler's doing so well. He's got a better foundation. He's using his legs more and all of that. So I asked Roy if you and he could discuss that. How important the legs are to a hitter, and how, we're talking about fresh hands sometimes in the second half of the year, but it starts, I guess, with your legs. Morrison strokes one into right field, a base hit.
Well, it absolutely does start with your legs, and Brian Dozier is a great example of that. We also showed a side swing yesterday of Eduardo Escobar when he powered that ball into the deep in center, over the center field fence. And the way you use your legs, and Justin, you can amplify this, but I'll just say that you're staying on your back leg as you're seeing the ball, with the weight really firmly pressing down into the ground with your back leg, and then driving that back leg and midsection into a solid and square front leg. That torque is what creates power and speed. So you see from the side here with Morrison, he you drive that backside into the front side. Now that's not ideal. His front side's a little bit bent. He's a little bit out in front, but he's getting closer. Whereas Escobar, when he hit that home run, Brian Dozier, when he's hot, it's all about how you don't stride off the back leg onto the front leg. You stride hard against a firm front leg.
And that's how that weight transfers and how the power transfers. It's interesting because I don't think even a couple days ago Logan Morrison is able to hit that ball. Even though it was a soft line drive, I think it was a ground ball to second the last few days, but he was able to hang on just long enough. And your legs allow you to hit off-speed pitches. I think your legs allow you to hit balls that are low in the zone. It's hard to hit them without your legs.
Down and in, 3-1.
And for Dozier's case, I have no idea if it has anything to do with this or not. This is just my thinking. But they played 16 innings in Puerto Rico and had 4 days off before that, and all of a sudden your legs start to escape, and it just happens gradually. And he said he felt like he was standing up taller, and it just sort of happened. And then all of a sudden, whether if you're tired or anything like that, that can affect your swing, and you get into these habits because you're tired physically, and your body just chooses the path of least resistance and whatever's easiest. And he said he looked at the video, they looked at it, and they said, okay. And whether it's right or not, if you have something as a hitter mentally that you think will fix your swing or that will make you feel better, you get into a better mindset immediately. And he's got the night off tonight, and it's not really going to do anything for him physically. 1 day off in a baseball season and 1 day off this early in the season doesn't do it. But to give a guy a mental break every once in a while, that can make a huge difference. And so he's got two things going for him. He doesn't have to worry about trying to hit tonight. And then he's also got the good feeling like he found something on the video, and he's going to work on that, and that's going to help turn his swing around and turn it around for him in the month of May.
First at bat for Gregorio Petit of the Twins. He's been around a while. This is his 15th year of professional baseball. 397 big league at bats, a 249 hitter. And that's what he was doing at Rochester. Twins signed him in case the season played out the way that it has, unfortunately, with an infielder suffering a disabling injury. In this case, it is Sano. Petit, according to Paul Molitor, more of a defensive player, but can hit a little bit, as his 249 lifetime average would suggest. And he has a hit here. Morrison rounds second. He's digging for third, fumbled in left, and Petit will hold up with a single, sending Morrison to third base.
And with one out, this is a good play to go first and third right here. You can see it, and the difference is you've got a right-handed throwing left fielder, and he's moving to his left, so he's got to either get around that ball and not make a stronger throw, or if he has to spin on it and turn around the throw. And Logan made a great read. He saw it off the bat. He got a good jump, and then he was running hard the whole way. And now we've got first and third with one out, which is exactly where you want to be.
And they've also talked, Justin, about the outfielder's arms and who throws well and who doesn't. And the left fielder there, who had to spin around, as you're saying, he does not throw. He's one of the ones that doesn't throw well. They know that.
Taken low by Grossman, and a great 6-pitch at bat. Hit the ball hard, lining out to the shortstop, Diaz. Another take, 2-0. Twins generally have done poorly in the first weeks of the season in situations like this, and it'll be the sign that things are turning around when whatever happens in this at bat, Morrison comes in from third base. Can be a fly ball, can be a ground ball, a base hit, 3-run homer, any of it. But as long as Morrison scores on this play, it'll be a good at bat.
Well, it's May now, so there's a good chance that's going to happen.
Because it's getting late, right? It's not early anymore. 2-0 to Grossman. That'll pop up near the plate. Maley with the catch, and Grossman got way out in front of that changeup and hit a weak pop-up, 2 down. That'll bring up Mauer, who cracked a home run his first time up.
Beautiful swing, high fastball, and he put a charge in one. Justin, he's not known as a high fastball hitter, but when he's swinging well, that ball all up, elevated already, he can hit that ball long ways.
And it looked like he had driving the ball in his mind. With even the first pitch he swung at, that 1-0 pitch, and that's a guy who he's seen quite a bit. He's comfortable in the at-bats. He knows how he's going to approach him. And he got the pitch he was looking for, and he turned on it. And it was, I'm sure, a good feeling for Joe to get that first home run out of the way, get the monkey off the back, and see what he does here with another runner in scoring position where he does so well.
Down and in a ball. Twins with 4 hits and a walk in 10 plate appearances against Marco Estrada. Two and 0.
Big at bat here, though, Dick, to your point about getting the run, not only getting the runner in from third, but also the heat that they put on Estrada here 2 consecutive innings. It happens so much of the time. You put a lot of heat on somebody early, and you don't really break the game open. You don't get as many runs as you have a chance to get, and that will come back to bite you. I think this is a big at bat for Joe.
Strike call, 2-1. That was the 50th pitch thrown by Estrada.
They've approached Joe with a lot of inside fastballs here. We'll see if they've got him set up for a changeup here if he wants to go there.
Swing and a miss with a
fastball. Came back with the home run pitch.
And it's 2-2.
That's the fun part of being a hitter right there. You're going, okay, I took him deep on his fastballs last time up at a hitter's count. And just
no way he throws me out again, right?
Yeah, and the little thought in the back of your mind can make you late on the same pitch that you hit out earlier in the game, because you know he's got a plus changeup and he likes to throw it in those situations. So it can creep into your mind.
And then he flips it changeup foul. Two and 2 to Mauer with 2 gone here in the second.
Petit likes to run. This might be a good pitch to go on.
Oh, full count. I bet he goes on the next one. So Petit will take off on 3 and 2. Kepler on deck. The Twins hoping to back up a 2-run first with something here in the second. A drive to center. Pilar has it measured, and he makes the catch near the end of the track. 2-0 Twins as we go to the third. Tonight, scoring a couple in the first, threatening to score in the second. And Aledmys Diaz will lead off the third against Kyle Gibson, who pitched out of his own jam in the second inning. Cloudy skies here at Target Field. Rain expected to come later on tonight. Then should blow out of here, clear out of here in time for our noon game tomorrow. Strike one over the inside corner. Diaz, Granderson, and Hernandez in the third. And a breaking ball, another good take in the dirt. Gibson 3-1 with an ERA just under 5 in his lifetime against the Blue Jays. Tap foul. And he essentially has picked up where he left off in the second half last year. Demoted to Rochester a couple of times, and whether it was the demotions or him getting a little mental break, you were talking about that regarding a hitter, whether it was a mental break that he got last year, came back a much better pitcher because of something that happened in Rochester. 1-2. Low. 2-2.
It's sometimes, like you said, it's just the mental break that it's still professional baseball, but the lineup 1 through 9 isn't the same in the minor leagues. You know, most of the time it's either the leadoff hitter or the 3-4 hitter are the guys who we're going to end up playing in the big leagues or being impact players. So you're not navigating through 1 through 9 of the best hitters in the world. You're navigating through a couple of prospects, a couple of guys that have been around, and they're still professionals, they're still good, but it's not the same as facing a big league lineup. And you can sort of explore what, you know, what does my 4-seam fastball do? How can I use this pitch? Can I pitch with my 2-seam and my 4-seam? And you can sort of experiment as you're going through there in less of a pressure situation. And sometimes you just find something, and it looks like he found that, and he's got confidence now, and it's fun to watch.
Might have swung a ball 4, but a sinking fastball. Diaz swung over the top of it, 1 down. Gibson will tell you that the use of the 4-seam fastball almost about a half, I guess, as much as the 2-seamer. And into 2018, he's continued to use both effectively.
Right, and what we saw there was a marginally greater usage of the 4-seam fastball than the 2-seam, the proportions in the past, but it really doesn't take a huge change.
Anderson hit on the foot.
So we're talking about what the 4-seamer does and what the 2-seamer does, and what's the difference? There's a 4-seamer. You see how straight it is. The 2-seam fastball sinks. There's the inside 4-seamer, down and away 2-seamer. Inside 4-seamer, run the ball in on right-handers with the 2-seamer. So it makes a huge difference if you can run the ball in on hitters, as Justin was saying. But for a right-handed pitcher to run it in on a right-handed hitter, the 2-seamer is better because it keeps moving in that direction. 4-seamer better to the left-hander, Justin, because the ball doesn't tend to drift back over the plate with that movement on the 2-seamer. It stays riding in on the left-hand hitters, right?
And like we talked about, with guys have openly come out and said they're trying to hit the ball in the air, so the uppercut swings and all the rest of it. It's a 2-seam is almost, I think, going to be used less and less and less if guys are continuing to go to this approach, because the 4-seam, the contact point and everything, it's
on the swing plane, right?
Yeah, it's right on the plane. So the 2-seam, like you're saying, is dangerous to a left-handed hitter because you kind of drop the barrel to it, and it runs right back over the plate, and you don't do have to do a whole lot of work to get to it. On that 4-seam fastball up under your hands, it's really hard to hit it good and keep it fair.
Right.
You know, if you're going to hit it good, you turn on it and you're going to hit it 100 feet foul, and you're going to feel great because you squared the ball up. But all the pitcher's doing is go, okay, perfect, I set you up, and that was a long strike. So
see if they can get 2 here. And they do. A nice turn by Petit. So he's got a nice strong arm from the second base position. Gibson struggled with his control in the inning, but he faced just 3 men. Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by visitbuyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Kepler, right off the end of the bat, pushes a weak ground ball through the hole and gets a leadoff single in the third.
We used to say you hit it just like you threw it. Little 78-mile-an-hour flop pitch up there that he cued off the end of the bat, and he's smiling because he knows he's just hot. When you're hot, you get those hits.
And you always say, oh, it makes up for the bullets he hit. They never even out.
No, they never, ever even out. No way.
Look at that. I mean, that ball may even not ended up on the plate, but when your approach is solid and you have your base underneath you and you have confidence, it seems like those balls fall in for you.
Strike one to Escobar. Guys, were you aware of the fact that in the month of April and the few games that were played in March, there were more strikeouts in Major League Baseball than hits? Now, I looked it up. Each one of you, a couple of times, went over the 100 strikeout mark. But now, guys, a number of guys will strike out more than 200 times in a season. 1-1 to Escobar, now 1-2.
But the difference, you know, what's amazing is we look at these numbers. The first time in history, or at least since 1913, so history to us. There were more strikeouts than hits in a month, and that's an amazing statistic to me. I would not have believed that, except I've seen so many strikeouts. Right. I'm not surprised.
I think the way I phrased it to you, yeah, you can believe it, but did you ever think when you were playing that would even be possible?
No, I would never. It never would occur to me. And I did strike out a lot. I'd strike out, you know, between 75 and 100 times, but I also walked about the same amount. And you know, the guys now, they'll strike out 200 times and walk 30.
And I got to be careful how I approach this, because it was the most frustrating part of my playing career, but it feels like obviously the pitching has gotten way better. And every time that bullpen door opens, somebody's throwing 95-mile-an-hour plus. But the strike zone has gotten so much bigger. The high strike, the low strike, the wider, the way it's called, and this goes back to my electronic strike zone, and that happens a lot because guys are able to get those borderline pitches, and then they get the swings on the borderline pitches. Right. And there's also, there's no stigma attached to it also. But no,
that's one of the main things about it. You're right.
2-2 to Escobar. Kepler gets back.
But to the point of it, the argument against it is, what is the point of just putting the ball in play and tapping the ball to the second baseman or whatever, and taking a weak swing, and when you could take your A swing and try to hit a ball over the fence?
It'll be a long run for Solarte or Granderson. And I believe that is Diaz.
Granderson didn't see it. It's a good thing.
The twilight thing I think we were talking about last night, maybe. One down.
So personally, I just hated to strike out, and I thought if I put the ball in play, I had a chance to get on base. I mean, it's easier said than done, but
here's what I think the difference is. I hear what you're saying, and I was the same way. I can't say that I did things, you know, here's the way you should do it, because that's the way I did it, because I didn't. Right? I wasn't anything for just tapping the ball somewhere just so that I could say I didn't strike out. It's one of the reasons why I struck out a fair amount. I took a lot of pitches, and so I walked a lot and got myself in 2-strike counts, and so I struck out some. I think the difference is that before, you talk about putting A swing on with 2 strikes. You don't want to put some D swing on just so you make contact. But you can take an A swing and adjust your swing so you're watching the ball longer. Maybe try to put your A swing on a ball that you hit to the opposite field. Okay, you're going to get beat on the inside fastball. You're going to get beat on something anyway. You can't cover everything, right? So now just say
high fly, right field, long run. Hernandez running to the corner, and he makes the catch 2 away.
So now have an approach where at least the percentages say you can take a good hard swing there where you're trying to get a hit, but you won't be fooled by 7 out of the 8 pitches he might throw you. You know, that's the difference that I see now. Guys are taking the same swing, 3-0-2 as they are 3-1, just hoping it's right in their wheelhouse.
Well, we just saw Morrison, who's a power hitter. who elevated his launch angle last year, and that's why he hit 38 home runs. But he had a two-strike swing, if I can use that term, put the barrel of the bat on it, and ended up being rewarded with a base hit.
And we were forced to hit like that in the minor leagues. We had, until you got to Double-A, they said you had to choke up with 2 strikes, you had to spread out, and you had to learn how to hit with 2 strikes.
Is that right?
Jim Dwyer was a minor league hitting coordinator, and he said, and I remember I got so mad, I was hitting 400 in the first month of the season in Quad Cities, and he came in and saw me not choke up with one of the at-bats, pulled me aside, and I'm going, what's going on here? But he wanted me to be successful at the big league level, and it really taught me a 2-strike approach. And the argument was, okay, you choke up, which gives you a little bit more time, and he explained it to me this way. It said, okay, you're going to be vulnerable to the inside fastball. That's why you're going to choke up, but it will allow you to cover the fastball away. It will allow you to cover the changeup. It'll allow you to wait longer on the breaking ball. So you could cover 4 pitches, and you were vulnerable to 1, like you said,
right,
as opposed to selling out to the fastball and not being able to cover anything else.
That's my only point about that. Yep.
But it's hard. It's hard when a guy's throwing 96-mile-an-hour fastballs in, and there's so much data that says, okay, with 2 strikes, if we just pound this guy inside, and you execute your pitches, then you're not going to have any success. So you have to find some way to counteract that. And that's that chess game you play, and you try and figure out how they're trying to get you out. You have to be able to adjust if you're a major league hitter.
Guys, we all admired Harmon Killebrew, and he was known as a power hitter, but consequently also a strikeout hitter. His strikeout rate per at bat was 21%. The game, the Major League Baseball, across all 30 teams, the strikeout rate is 24%. Now, that's how the game has changed. Harmon was one of the top strikeout guys, and his strikeout rate was 21%. Everybody now in the game is striking out at a 24% rate.
I've made the point a number of times now. They're talking about how you shorten games. One of the key reasons why the games are so long is because everybody's striking out. Every count's 3 and 2. There's 6, 8 pitches in every at bat. That adds up.
Twins lead at 2-0, hoping to win a world championship. The Lynx have done that almost every year. We'll hear from Marnie Gelder on the Lynx visit to Target Field in a moment.
Throughout the first pitch before this game tonight, and the entire Lynx team is here. And Sylvia Fowles, the reigning WNBA MVP, looking for a trophy. Hey, hi, Sil.
Hey, how are you?
First pitch, Cheryl Reeve. I thought it was a little high. What's your assessment of that first pitch?
Well, she thought I was standing out there at the home plate, so we was practicing. Yeah, it was the height. She was practicing with Walt, and so she thought it was one of us at the home plate, so she got it a little high. But overall, I think she did pretty good.
Okay, the whole team is here, and you guys are just getting together for the first time. Third day of training camp. What's it like seeing everyone and being back with the group?
It feels good to be back. I think I winged some of this warm weather in from Florida here to Minnesota. Thank you. Welcome. You're welcome. But camp has been good. We got some really talented players in, and it's going to be hard to make decisions. But I'm just happy to be back in Minnesota, to be back with the team, and ready to get another season going.
You guys had such a talented group. The champions last year, you were the MVP, and I know there are a lot of other teams who are gunning for the Minnesota Lynx. What are you anticipating this season being like, knowing that?
It's going to be hard. Of course, we got the target on our back, but who wouldn't want the target on their back? I'd rather for people gunning for us than us have to gun for anybody else.
Baseball game tonight. I know you're a bunch of basketball players. We got any ball players in this group? Did you play any softball, baseball growing up?
I did not play any softball or baseball. I thought being outside with basketball was hot enough, and I did not have it in me to be on a baseball field.
Well, we hope you're at least enjoying the game, because I've seen a lot of Lynx hats. You're wearing the Lynx hat.
Oh,
you guys are
nice.
Represented well.
Oh, we're going to represent very well. I need another Twins jersey. I'm trying to get Reeves on off her back before I go home tonight, so I'm ready.
So good luck this season. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Sylvia Fowles of the Minnesota Lynx here tonight, and every home game will be available on national TV or Fox Sports North or Fox Sports Go. Dick and Roy and Justin, we are so proud to be the home of Minnesota Lynx basketball, the home of the defending WNBA champs. They go for 2 in a row this season.
Yeah, Marty, you do a great job on their telecast too. I love the attitude. We want the target on our back. We expect people to, come shooting for us. We're the champions, and that's exactly where we want to be. You have to respect that they want the pressure of defending a championship.
And it's not often you hear that from athletes. That's good. I like to hear it. There's confidence there. That's a good way to look at it, because people are gunning for them. They're a dynasty there, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
2-1 to Yanhervis Solarte. Smoke hit a ground ball to second, and now it's 2-2.
Okay, now Justin was just talking about this. The four-seamer inside under his hands. What does he do with it? Gets the bat head out. Where does it go?
Because that's the only thing you can do with that pitch on that part of the
You were just talking about that. He hits it 100 feet foul, and it sets up the pit. This swing and miss on this two-seamer down, because he was thinking it was the same fastball, but it wasn't the four-seamer. It was a two-seamer that broke down and away, and he missed that one by a foot. That's how the two fastballs complement each other.
Dribbled up the line, actually off his foot.
And the thing about pitching, it is not always about swing and miss. A lot of times it's just about trying to induce weak contact, and that late movement does that. It allows you, that four-seamer sets up the weak contact on the two-seam fastball. That's why you throw a fastball that moves, because the hitter thinks it's going in one spot, and as they go to swing real late, it just moves off to the end of the bat or onto their hands or whatever it was, and that's when you get those weak ground balls, and that's why that pitch like that is so effective.
2-2 to Yanhervis Solarte. And another foul fly. Well, that's frankly one of the main reasons I've enjoyed watching Jose Barrios pitch in most of his games. And people get all giddy about the strikeouts. I like the fact that hardly anybody, when he's pitched well, hardly anyone can make solid contact. It's three hoppers to the second baseman. It's pop-ups to the third baseman. Stuff like that. And to me, that means more than a strikeout. You get quick outs. You can pitch 7, 8, maybe even 9 innings in a ball game. A strikeout for out number 2.
One of the main things I've noticed about Kyle Gibson as we watch how he got Solarte out. There's ball one. Now he comes in. There's the 100-foot foul. He sees a slider. Now he's looking fastball. The same, but it wasn't the same four-seamer. It was the one that moved. He shows him a breaking ball, and then comes back with the breaking ball. And the one he got him out with was a two-seamer that started like the four-seamer and came back over the inside corner and struck him out.
And what you're saying, when he changed that pitch selection, if you're constantly throwing that two-seam inside, the hitters start to become aware of that. They're just waiting for that ball to back out, to run back over the plate. And when you throw that four-seamer in there and you see the guys pull it foul, then they're conscious of that ball coming up into the hands, because nobody wants to get jammed. It doesn't feel good.
I was just going to say that. People have to understand there's no hitter in the world that wants to be jammed. That's the worst thing in the world for a hitter, for most hitters. And they'll strike out way out in front of everything else so that they don't miss that ball on the inside part, or they don't get jammed on the inside. And that's where you have to develop, at least with 2 strikes. That's what you were talking about, Justin. Develop some kind of approach where you're able to fight off the inside pitch so that you're not vulnerable to everything else.
2-1 to Kevin Pillar. Drew a walk his first time up, and now a swing and a foul.
Boy, he's thrown some good changeups tonight. He's also started guys off, especially left-handed hitters. He started them off with kind of a get-me-over changeup for strike 1, and that has set up the rest of those at-bats as well. He's throwing all his pitches. His fastball command isn't like fantastic like it was in New York, but it's pretty good.
And in the dirt, 3-2. Time now for our Lowe's whole team together. And at Target Field, it's been a launching pad for the Blue Jays over the years. Full count to Pillar. That's down the line and fair. Pillar will round first, and he'll go to second with a 2-out double. Second Blue Jay hit against Kyle Gibson.
Left that one hanging a little bit higher and more over the plate than he wanted to. That's one of the few breaking balls that wasn't down and away. It just stayed up enough. Pillar was out in front of it, but because it was high, he could get the bat to it. If that ball's low, it's too far away from him. He won't hit it the same way.
Well, Pillar's slugging percentage is boosted by 9 straight extra base hits, 3 homers, a triple, and 5 doubles. Here is Gurriel, who lined out to Kepler his first time up. Right off the end of the bat foul.
I think he's doing a good job of mixing his pitches. They're obviously when you're an offensive team, you watch either the opposing pitcher's last start or his last 2 starts. And you want to see what he did. He was successful his last start, so you assume he's probably going to stick to similar patterns. But he's thrown some right changeups, and that makes the hitters aware it's just another pitch to worry about. Now he's effective with that breaking ball.
And now jammed, dribbled up the line.
To that point, Justin, he's got a great sequence going, pitch sequence going right here. He threw in that little changeup or breaking ball, whatever that you identify the first pitch as, and then now the 2-seamer buried in on his hands. Now the hitter's confused. I mean, I got to get him off my hands, but he's also got that breaking ball, and you get confusion in the hitter's mind, and that's what hitters tend to chase.
0-2. Got it.
Yep.
Another good start for Kyle Gibson. 4 shutout innings with just 2 hits allowed and a 2-0 Twins lead. Minnesota, can you visit a wide range of museums? Whether you're an art, history, science, military, plant, or animal lover, there's a museum featuring your same passion. Downtown St. Paul is home to a trio of world-class museums: the Science Museum of Minnesota, Minnesota History Center, and Minnesota Children's Museum, all with great deals, exhibit features, and more. Find travel inspiration at exploreminnesota.com. I'm Dick Bramer. I've spent almost my entire life in the state of Minnesota, and I'm working with two guys who grew up far, far away from Minnesota, but yet they have settled into their retirement years in Minnesota. Now, you both married Minnesota women, right? So that might have had something to do with it, but why did you, a California boy, decide to live in Minnesota? And why did you, from British Columbia, decide to anchor here?
I spent 9 of my 13 years here. I became just part of the community. My kids were young and in school. My wife is from here. We won the World Series on my 35th birthday. And why would I leave after all of that? I just felt.
You're a big fan of the Minnesota winters, too. Right?
Oh, well, you know that's the case.
Yeah, that was.
Plus, I could just. I had half of every year just to whine about stuff, about how cold I am.
Yeah, and I'd spent the last, I don't know, 15 winters in Arizona.
But no more. You're going to be wintering here in Minnesota, right?
Oh yeah, I spent this winter here that went till the end of April.
Okay. You're still spending winter here, right?
I was
That was last week. You were still here last week.
I was excited about having this outdoor hockey rink and all these things that I dreamed of as a kid. And
you didn't think
I had it. I didn't think I was going to have it for 6 months.
You didn't think you'd be skating on Mother's Day. Ray Adrianza will bat after Morrison's ground out. Adrianza struck out swinging his first time up. I'd like to see this guy get his bat going a little bit. When you're a reserve player like Adrianza is, you dream, literally I suppose, dream about opportunities he's been given here to get a little run of games in a row. And so you'd like to be swinging the bat well when that opportunity comes to encourage more playing time down the road.
It's hard to be swinging. It's hard to be swinging well when the opportunity comes when you haven't had the opportunity up until that time. But you know, he hadn't had a whole lot of at bats.
2 strikes. Sharply hit on one hop. Diaz is there. 2 down. May 22nd is Star Wars night at Target Field. A limited number of Star Wars night theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Joe Solo bobblehead. Go to twinsbaseball.com/Star Wars. Learn more about the Star Wars night theme night offer. There's Joe Solo.
It's kind of funny we promote that on the night he hit a solo home run.
Yeah. 1-0 to Gregorio Petit. Single to left center his first time up. Out in front.
It's kind of what you were talking about. They got made him throw a lot of pitches early, made him work a lot early, and all of a sudden he's starting to settle in.
Yep.
He's getting more feel for that changeup. His pitch count's still pretty high, but kind of let him off the hook a little bit with that.
Hit to left center field. Pilar makes the catch in medium deep center. A 1-2-3-4 for Estrada. See fans of the game enjoying the score so far. Joe Mauer's home run in the first, another run in the first inning, and Kyle Gibson has pitched well again here tonight. He'll face the bottom third of the Toronto lineup, starting with Kendrys Morales. You know, you look at Gibson's starts this year. This is his 6th of the year, and in reality, in all of the starts, there was at least something to like. You know, it started in Baltimore. My goodness, 6 no-hit innings, and he had to come out because of the pitch count. But in his start against Seattle, just 1 earned run and 4 1/3 innings. Talked about the Houston start. He bottled up the Astros through 4 innings, and then things kind of unraveled quickly with a sequence of hits in the 5th. But for 4 innings, he was really good. In his start against the Rays, just a C.J. Cron 2-run home run through 6 innings, and then ran out there in the 7th, gave up a couple of base runners that later scored, and then his outstanding effort against the Yankees. And now again here tonight, 4 shutout innings. But it's 3-0 to Morales to start the 5th. And there's a strike. I don't know that until the second half of last year Gibson ever found the consistency that the Twins were projecting from him. And in some way, shape, or form, he's been rather consistent again this year. This one walloped to right. And on a 3-1 pitch, Morales cashes in and cuts the Twins' lead in half. Second home run of the year for Kendrys Morales.
We talk about it just all the time. You just can't give big league hitters 2-0 and 3-1 counts to hit in, and that has been one of probably Kyle's biggest detractions from being consistent and pitching well consistently, I guess, is because there's just too much of this. Get to 3-1. The hitter has seen 4 fastballs. Now he gets another one right in his wheelhouse. And you just see so plainly when Kyle's pitching well, he's strike, 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 and hitters never settle into I can look for a pitch and really air it out.
And that was one of those ones. He knows he has a 2-run lead. It looked like he took a little something off. It was 89 miles an hour, and he was just trying to throw a strike because he knows it's almost worse if you walk him there and you set up a big inning. So he's thinking, okay, I can't afford to walk him here. I'm just going to try and throw a strike. He took the 3-0. And then he got the center cut 3-1 fastball, didn't miss it, and you know Kyle's going, maybe I should have walked him. But
no, I agree with you. I think that's right, and I don't think it's a 3-1 pitch that was awful. If that's what he was trying to do, it's just 3 balls in a row. Just all of a sudden lost his command. This ball was hammered. See the exit.
Came in at 89, went out at 108.
108. Yeah.
And now he falls behind 3-1 to Maile.
And you kind of back yourself into a corner because the hitter knows you can't be walked right there. So you're expecting something over the big part of the plate. And he got it.
See what he gives Maile on 3-1. A little firmer fastball for a called strike. 3-2.
But that's effective to a right-handed hitter because it started away and ran back over the plate. You kind of give up on it. You're not looking for something out over the plate. You're not thinking opposite field homer if you're Maile right there. But to a left-handed hitter, it was almost the same pitch, and that's right in the danger zone for a left-handed hitter.
Right.
Grounder foul. Maile had a long battle with Gibson in the second inning with 2 on and 2 out. Finally hit a ground ball to short. Base hit, solidly stroked to left. And the tying run is aboard. Maile with a big turn at first. So the number 7 hitter homers on a 3-ball count. The number 8 hitter singles on a 3-ball count, and now Aledmys Diaz.
Well, again, right center cut, and it has to be center cut to Justin's point because he's lost command of the fastball early in counts, and he's trying to get the strike zone feel back, and the only feel he has for it is in the middle of the plate. And that's where things get really dangerous. again, we talked about it, the big difference between Kyle's second half of last season and so far this year has been his ability to throw strike one, to stay ahead of hitters, to be on the corners and not in the middle. But one of the characteristics has been in the past has been just inexplicably just kind of losing command of the fastball. Is all of a sudden just gone. Like he's going along great, and then all of a sudden it's a 4-pitch walk. And he's going along great, and then all of a sudden it's ball three. See if he can get back into some kind of feel for where those two fastballs need to be, 4-seamer and 2-seamer.
Breaking ball for a strike, now one in the dirt for a ball. Gibson got a double play grounder to wrap up the third inning. Runner goes, and the pitch grounded to third. Escobar goes to second, safe there, and they get the out at first.
Be interesting to see if they take a look at it.
Yeah, right. What a terrific play by both Escobar and by Pettit.
Petit hung in there even though the runner was right on top of him.
Well, the ball's hit so hard, Escobar knows if he gets it there in a hurry, they might get it, but he's going to have plenty of time to still get the runner at first, even if they don't. So it's a good try.
And they're not going to take a look at it.
No.
The tying run at second, one down now, and Curtis Granderson the batter. So score at 6-4-3, but no out recorded at second base. Granderson, excuse me, 5-4-3. Up and away, ball one. Granderson struck out swinging in the first. Hit in the left foot by a pitch in the third. And falling behind now, 2-0. Check to swing, 3-0 with a base open. Teoscar Hernandez on deck. 18 pitches and just 8 strikes this inning. This will be the 85th pitch for Gibson. 44 strikes, 40 balls so far. Swing and a foul.
John Gibbons, the manager of Toronto, certainly not shy about giving his, especially veteran hitters, a hit sign 3-0, is he?
Gave Russell Martin the green light last night, and he hit a home run. Irvin Alston on the phone. The Twins are going to fire up the bullpen with Gibson approaching 100 pitches. 3-1 to Granderson. A speed pitch, clipped the corner, 3-2. Gibson has had just one 1-2-3 inning. That was in the first. Blue Jays got a walk and a single in the second. 2-out double in the fourth. And this inning started with a home run. Full count. Missed inside, and now Gibson has just issued his second walk, and along with the hit batter. First and second, one down. It's tonight's Coors timeless moment. On this date in 1974, Pirates starter Doc Ellis, upset with his opponent's attitude, hit the first 3 Reds batters. He drilled Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Dan Dreesen. Then he threw 2 pitches behind Tony Perez's head before walking the cleanup hitter, and then went 0-2 on the next batter, Johnny Bench, before they took him out of the game.
Justin and I are looking at each other. I don't know what to say about that.
Must be a slow news day in Major League Baseball.
Well, other than the fact that that's about as old school baseball as you're going to see. You're not going to see that today.
hit the first three.
I promise you, you're not going to see that this year.
No.
Some things are amazing, and some things are amazing for a good reason, and some are amazing for a baffling reason or whatever. It would be interesting to hear the whole story behind that. To say a poor attitude, I don't know. I'm sure something.
Yeah, there was poor attitude means bad blood. That's a euphemism for we don't like you guys.
Second mound visit for the Twins, and now Hernandez, who bounced into a double play his last time up, is up with 2 on and 1 out. Breaking ball, strike 1. Ryan Presley getting loose. Swing and a miss. Here's another news bulletin about the month of April. The average start for a starter in the month of April was 5 1/3 innings.
That's
5 1/3 innings.
Is that a carryover from the postseason and team seeing how successful it was successful? That's how they managed in the postseason. It was
right.
Go to the bullpen in the third if you have to.
Bouncer toward the hole. Nice pickoff. Escobar gets an out at second base. A great play by the Twins' third baseman, forcing Granderson at second. 2 away.
Little man's doing it all, and breaking ball out in front of Hernandez. Hernandez is out in front of it, almost gets it through the hole. Escobar, you watch the jump he gets on this ball. Good crossover step, and that's not that easy a hop. It was kind of an in-between hop, and he was able to stay with it as he was diving for it, get the out.
And now the dangerous Justin Smoke. He has struck out and bounced out. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at first.
And Justin, this is one of those times where if you're going to go in right here, it's got to be way in. You cannot miss back over the plate. It's trying to go in.
And he went with that four-seamer.
But more four-seamer, so that he doesn't risk it coming back, right?
Yep. Didn't give it a chance to run back into his barrel there.
Right.
1-0. And now a strike. That's what happened last night against Lance Lynn. A pitch up and in, and Smoke turned out. One and one. That's to short center, and it'll tie the game. A busted bat, a single, and Maley scores from third, and it's 2 apiece. Hernandez scampers to third, and we'll see if the Twins make a move now or whether they'll let Gibson face Solarte, who's 0 for 2 against him. Got in right on the frame of the strike zone, but Smoke muscled it into center.
Very hard to say that that's a bad pitch. He was trying to get in on him. He got in on his hands. Smoke just strong enough to muscle it in there. The only problem is when you throw it up in the strike zone like that, you got a chance to get it over the infield.
Yep. High foul fly into the seats, 1 strike. Well, again for Gibson, 4 shutout innings and then problems in the 5th, and it started by falling behind Morales and Maley, and they've both come around to score here to tie the game.
And as much as we're searching for answers of where did his command go or where did it go, he's out there thinking the same thing of he was cruising, he felt good, he was able to locate his fastball, he was getting swings and misses on his off-speed pitches, and then he went 3-0 and 3-1 to back-to-back hitters, and he worked himself into some trouble.
And then 3-2 to Granderson and walked him. You know, so it was three. You know, those three hitters in a row. Saw the pitches in the inning, really struggled in the second, and now here in the fifth. And it's just all about when the command goes away.
Got him. Breaking ball down and in. Garver from foul territory completes the strikeout. Blue Jays tie it up in the fifth on 3 hits and a walk. SportsNorth.com and submit a photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day.
Justin was going to answer that.
I know. I paused and no one jumped in right away.
I thought there was an excitement was you handing me the card to read or something, just like
like the
disseminated in the.
Yeah.
That would have been excitement for me.
So Kyle Gibson's done for the night. A couple of runs allowed over 5 innings. And now 2 strikes to Robbie Grossman.
And it's funny what this game does to you, because if he goes out there and has that long inning in the first, and he's able to settle in and get his team 3-5 and get the bullpen, you know, giving up 2, and he comes out of that feeling good. Now he's sitting over there frustrated because he gave up 2 innings in the last inning. He was cruising. He was throwing the ball really well. It's sometimes it takes a day for that to settle in, and you look at it and you go, okay, let's see what positives I can actually take out of this start. Early in the game, he was in control, and everything looked good. And obviously, he leaves with a bad taste in his mouth, but it was looking like it was going to be a great, 7 or 8 inning start, and it just kind of got away from him a little bit. But
right, no, you're right. The perspective, the way you feel about it changes a lot with from a different perspective, doesn't it? When you gave up the runs, but I got to say also, it's 2 runs. I mean, would we like to give up 2 runs in 7 innings? Yes. Could the Twins have done an awful lot for him if they had scored 6 runs in these first 4 innings, and given him a little bit of cushion? I mean, this is a team game. At some point in time, both sides got to step up, right? I mean,
3-2, and Grossman drills one right center field. On a line to Hernandez, 1 away. Second time that Grossman's hit the ball right on the button for an out.
He's had some very, very good bats last 2 or 3 games he's played. He's hit a lot of line drives, some for hits and some for hard luck outs, just like that one. And you're right, they don't even out. He will not get it. He will not get a weak hit to make up for that one.
And I think it's the result of him getting consistent at bats, playing every day for the last 10 days or whatever it's been. He's been out there a lot. And now that timing's there, he's comfortable. He's not looking over his shoulder. He's not feeling like he needs to get 3 hits so he can play tomorrow. He's just out there knowing that he's going to be used and he's comfortable.
Mauer takes a strike at the knees. I'll beg to differ. Roy, you're going to Chicago. I'll promise you that before that series is over with, Robbie Grossman will break his bat and dump a single for a soft base hit.
And he'll be about 4 behind.
You'll say he'll probably line out 4 times between now and then, but you'll be right.
2 strikes. But you guys were hitters. You know, pitchers will tell you that you know, because I usually work with pitchers, that they don't even out that way either. Mauer takes up 1 and 2. Dairy Queen combination. Joe Mauer with 23 walks, 11 strikeouts. Harper with 38 walks. And you were talking about striking out frequently, but also drawing a lot of walks to help balance out the strikeouts. The ball rifled to the shortstop. So the Twins hitting bullets here in the 5th against Estrada.
And that leads me back to one of my favorite hitters that I grew up watching was John Olerud. And I think it was either 9 or 10 straight years he walked more than he struck out. And he was a high average guy. He was very similar to Joe, but he was one of my favorite players growing up. And,
what a good hitter he was, boy.
Man, he was so consistent. He was chasing 400 that one year, and he was fun to watch for me. He was the guy that the at-bats that I really couldn't miss.
Swing and a miss by Kepler.
I watched him take batting practice in Seattle one time when he was with Seattle, and he was consciously trying to never hit the ball to the left or right of the gaps.
Well, and
so
you know, we've made the
he was trying to every ball he was trying to hit. If it was outside, you know, more outside, middle, left center, more inside, middle, right center. But I mean, he didn't want to pull the ball down the line. I mean, it was amazing. He was trying to stay so contained, right? So inside the ball.
And an off-speed pitch floats over the inside corner. Kepler strikes out. The Twins have been sent down 9 times in a row with Estrada settling into a groove. Up in the booth and listen to you two guys talk hitting and other baseball matters, and Justin will be in the post-game show as well. Meanwhile, the Twins find themselves now in a tie game, and Kevin Pillar will lead things off against Ryan Presley. It'll be Pillar, Gurriel, and Morales in the Toronto 6th. Presley's had a really, really good year so far. And a fastball over the inside corner.
2 innings last night. Coming right back out there tonight. He struggled a little bit in the second inning. He was dominant in the first inning. Little struggle in the second inning, but right back out there today.
What we've seen with Presley's job description kind of morphing a little bit here as we moved into the second full month of the season. Driven to right, and Grossman's there for the catch. You know, it's been said now that for a long time that games are decided by bullpens, and beyond the closers that get a lot of the headlines closing the games, that games very often are decided in this range of the innings, with the middle innings. And here we are in the 6th inning, and boy, it's very likely, I would think, that this game will be decided with what happens in the next 2 innings rather than the final 2 innings. Here's the ball hit hard to center. Kepler is over, and a couple of quick outs here in the 6th inning. So yeah, Presley's become a weapon, and Paul Molitor is using him in what might be the most important innings of the ball game.
I agree with that, and we're seeing that all over baseball. And as Justin was talking about the bullpens in the World Series last year, Terry Francona in the playoffs and World Series went to Andrew Miller when he thought the game was on the line in the 6th inning, when he knew he had to have 3 outs against these particular hitters that inning, or he never was going to get to his closer or anybody else, and he would go to a guy like Andrew Miller. And there's a role out there for a guy with Presley's kind of stuff to be, you know, to be that kind of guy here in the 6th inning and or the 7th inning. But I mean, he was ready in the 5th and 6th innings. Just shut the game down. Just shut it down right now.
And then there's the argument, well, you can manage that way in the postseason, but can you do that during the regular season? Can you regularly relieve your starter in the 6th inning? And well, you look across baseball, just about every team now has 13 pitchers, and that's one of the reasons why there's less demand put on starting pitching than ever before in the history of this game. 1-1 to Kendrys Morales. It's almost gotten to the point where, you know, it's the 4x400 relay and track where, you know, the starting pitcher is important, but it's the guys who handle the baton, you know, later on that really decide the games. I'm not sure that's great for the game, but that's the way this game is evolving. Here's a one driven deep to right center field, and Morales has hit another one. A solo home run to right, and now one to right center, and the Blue Jays are in front, and all 3 balls hit by Presley have been hit with authority. And Morales wasn't even supposed to be in the starting lineup tonight, and he's 3 for 3 with 2 home runs.
I was about to say, Dick, so he's not swinging the bat well. He's not in the lineup. He gets in there, he gets a base hit to left, he hits a home run, and I've just all of a sudden a real good hitter is starting to feel good at the plate, and I was very concerned about this at bat more than any other one, because I've seen what Kendrys Morales can do when all of a sudden he feels good about himself, and he does right now, just all of a sudden.
A line out to right, a line out to center, a line drive home run. Now a check swing strike to Maile.
Well, he just set up to hit fastball. He got one right down the middle, and he's been doing that for a lot of years.
The Blue Jays in front 3-2. And there's strike 2. 2 in the 5th, now 1 in the 6th. And he's done it just about everywhere but here with the Twins. Didn't hit much in his brief time with the Minnesota Twins. Presley strikes out Maile, but the Blue Jays take the lead on the Morales home run. Brantley hit a grand slam to tie the game at 6. But now in the 12th, the Rangers have scored a couple of runs. You were talking about Terry Francona and how he used his bullpen. Without Andrew Miller, it's been kind of a question mark for the Indians. Their bullpen. Of course, Brian Shaw's no longer with them. Cody Allen's still very good, but you know, they've got some question marks in that bullpen that they didn't have before. One strike to Escobar. And now a ball.
Yeah, I really believe that losing Brian Shaw was going to affect them. He was very, very good, obviously late in the game, but he just went out there every day.
That's down the right field line. That's going to drop for a hit. Escobar's going to round first. He's headed for second, and he's aboard with a double. The man is a doubles machine. Escobar picking up his 12th double of the year. Only has 26 hits.
Stays on that changeup just long enough to get it on down toward the end a little bit, but perfect spot to hit the ball. Good swing on that changeup, running hard right, and he knows that the right fielder Hernandez has a good arm, so he's hustling in there. No out double, leadoff double, great play.
And now Rosario trying to spin on one, fouled it straight back. Now the Twins had a 2-0 lead early, and boy, it looked like it was going to be a long night for Marco Estrada, but he has outlasted Kyle Gibson in position to win a ball game here tonight. Tying run at second with nobody out. Rosario lifts it deep to right field. It is back and gone. And just like that, the Twins retake the lead.
Two great swings by Eddie Rosario in tonight's ball game, a double and now a huge home run. Looked to me like it was a changeup. I couldn't really tell. Looked like whatever it was. His swing has shortened up tonight for the first time in a while. No, maybe a fastball. Got the big end out of the bat out front.
Well, we just mentioned that Estrada had a chance to pick up the win. Right now, he is the pitcher of record and might end up with a loss. With a double and a home run starting the 6th inning, Marco Estrada's out of the game. And Son Juan-O coming in for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's had a bit of a fresh start here with the Blue Jays. 2 years ago, he was really, really good for the Cardinals, and last year not so much. So far, he's off to a good start in his first year in the American League.
And the numbers back up what Dick just said there. Fastball, slider pitcher, control pitcher, occasional changeup. Twins had that man right there, Marco Estrada, on the ropes early and just couldn't knock him out. Good for Escobar and Rosario for staying after it.
Pitch is up to Mitch Garver, 1-0. Garver 0 for 2, a pop up to first, and a strikeout. Prior to the Escobar double, Estrada had retired 9 men in a row. It was a breaking ball over for a strike. Mentioned last night, the Blue Jays have 1 left-handed reliever and 7 righties. 1-2. Oh, from Korea. Came in from the bullpen, running alongside his translator, which is necessary. And just, you know, if we do get to the point where there are bullpen cars. And
okay, I know where this is going.
And, you know, the pitcher has the choice, I guess, of riding in, but the translator's probably strongly going to lobby for, you know, using the bullpen car, because they were both sprinting in from the bullpen. 3-2 to Garver. And an off-speed pitch gets a swing and a miss, a foul tip actually, 1 away. Now, Arizona's got the bullpen cards. I think Detroit has them now too, and it is the pitcher's option whether he wants to ride in or walk or run in. Join Fox Sports North and the Minnesota Lynx at Mall of America Rotunda for the Let's Celebrate the Lynx event. Thursday, May 17th. You can enjoy games, the chance to win prizes, and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details. But you were around at Met Stadium when they had the bullpen cars, right?
I was. One of these times, remind me to relay the Goose Gossage bullpen car story in County Stadium in Milwaukee. One of the greatest, funniest things I've ever seen.
Is it airworthy, or is he going to tell me off?
No. It's,
okay.
It will. I think it's a story worth telling. I think.
Their off-speed pitch and a swing and a miss, 1-1 to Morrison.
Right now, still only 1 out here. Twins jump back in the lead. They've got some momentum. A couple more good at bats here that put some pressure on the reliever. See if they can't break this thing open.
Morrison 1 for 2. He's been fed a steady diet of off-speed stuff. There's a fastball and a foul to make the count 1-2.
It's unnerving when you get fastballs like that and you've hit them out of the ballpark. You know you can hit that pitch and you're just not hitting. You're swinging and missing or fouling it back. You just, what the heck is going on?
Fouled away.
And it happens to hitters. It comes and goes. I just have to tell everybody, this hitting thing, it is crazy. It just, sometimes it just leaves you and you can't figure it out. Then all of a sudden it comes back and you don't know why. You don't know why it left. You don't know why it came back. You just keep working at it and working at it.
Make it sound like a dog. I mean, the dog just leaves, runs away, and then you think you'll never see him again, and it comes back.
Well, that's pretty much what it is.
Dozier trying to find it. Took some early batting practice today. Morrison was doing an interesting drill when he was there for early hitting. He was swinging the bat with just his front arm. What was he trying to accomplish with that?
He's trying to get the plane of the bat going down through the ball and not getting his front elbow moving down rather than up, which makes the bat drag.
Checks his swing there, and it's 2-2. And is that an attempt to, well, not shorten the swing, or
shorten the swing? Okay. You bet. If people can imagine it, the bottom hand, he was swinging with just the bottom hand, and and so you're pulling the bat head through. And if the front elbow with which you're pulling the bat starts going up, you can imagine the big end of the bat dropping down.
Dribbled weakly up the middle, and waiting for it is the shortstop. Diaz makes the play 2 down. That'll bring up Adrianza.
So you try to pull that bat more directly through the zone by the front elbow moving down through the swing plane. That brings the big end of the bat more directly with your hands as it comes through. That's what they're trying to do.
Ray Adrianza will bat. He's 0 for 2. Fouled away. Tomorrow's a noon game, and we'll have that for you here on Fox Sports North. Zach Duke getting loose after Ryan Presley pitched the 6th. Looks like Duke will get the 7th. Adrianza waits, couldn't pull the trigger on the swing, and it's 0-2. Twins will make their only trip to Toronto right after the All-Star break. 1-2. Missed inside. 2-2.
Saw Max Kepler there talking with Eddie Rosario, 2 big impact players the last 2 games. I firmly believe that the Twins outfield, once Byron Buxton is healthy, and assuming he's going to play a lot of games, the Twins outfield is going to be, as Adrianza strikes out, it's going to be the Twins outfield that determines how far the Twins go this year. Those 3 guys are going to be the backbone of the team.
Blue Jays had a brief lead. Eddie Rosario made sure it was brief.
Getting out in front of a high fastball, blasting it to right center. Kendrys Morales with 2 home runs, almost 2 identical pitches. Wasn't even supposed to start the game. And then Eddie Rosario with a 2-run blast last inning. After the Twins had fallen behind 3-2, Rosario brings them right back, and that's where we are now, heading to the top of the 7th with a 4-3 Twins lead.
Did you almost drop a Jose Morales?
I almost dropped a Jose Morales.
Teammate of yours, right?
Yeah.
Aledmys Diaz will lead off the 7th against Zach Duke. And then Curtis Granderson, a left-handed batter. And then Teoscar Hernandez. First pitch fouled back, strike 1. Been a disappointing 2 weeks for the Twins, and especially when you think back at how many games the Twins lost because they didn't make a play in the late innings. And you can throw last night's game in there as well. Rosario made a 9th inning error. Dozier made a 9th inning error. And the Blue Jays got a huge insurance run. But with Duke's play covering first base, it started this bad stretch for the Twins. Didn't touch first base according to the first base umpire. That started the losing streak. Miguel Sano's error in the 9th inning in New York in the series finale set the stage for the horror that would follow. This one lifted down the right field line, and Grossman with room makes a catch, one away. And so, yeah, we can point fingers at the pitching, and there's enough blame to go around. But the fact of the matter is, the worst losses over the last 2 weeks were made because the Twins did not make plays in the field in the late innings. And in the case of the Yankees, Tyler Austin made that great play on the foul pop in foul territory in the late innings at Yankee Stadium. So we'll see what transpires here in the next 3 innings. One down in the 7th. Granderson takes ball 1. Granderson has been hit by a pitch, walked, and struck out. And now a strike, 1-1. It's been a good run of games for Duke after kind of a rough start. He's been a pretty reliable lefty for the Twins.
Started out well, went through a very tough streak, and then, as you say, last 2, 3, 4 appearances has been very good. Pitched great in New York.
Tap foul.
Pitched a great 8th inning against the Yankees when it looked like the Twins were going to win that great Kyle Gibson start.
Hasn't given up an earned run since April 7th. Now, he gave up 3 of them in the 3rd of an inning, but we were playing in a winter wonderland. So I give all the pitchers and hitters a pass. There's a pitch just off the outside corner, 2-2.
Good try there. That gives you kind of the impression of lulling you to sleep. That breaking ball, and then that 89-mile-an-hour fastball looks a little bit quicker.
Roller to Mauer for out number 2. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Probably go home and watch the Padres and Giants later on tonight. I love my subscription. Get to watch baseball before and after the games I'm announcing. 2 down, and here's Hernandez.
My mom out in the San Juan Islands area of Washington State has MLB. She watches our games on.
Does she really?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, hi, Mom.
Yeah, absolutely. I know she's listening. Love you, Mom.
Well, now you're not going to get off that easy. We got Mother's Day coming up here in a week and a half, so you got to send her a gift or a card too, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There'll be something. Yeah.
1-1.
Don't get your hopes up, though, Mom. Let's not get your expectations too high now. I mean, that was...
Don't spend it yet. Yeah.
You know me.
1-2 to Teoscar Hernandez. Bent a breaking ball over low. 2-2. In 12, the Rangers found a way to come back and beat the Indians, even though Brantley hit the late grand slam. So if the Twins can hang on and win here as poorly as they played, they'd only be 3.5 games behind Cleveland. And they haven't played the Indians yet.
Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico. Right, yeah. I didn't go there, so that's why I forgot. Good inning for Duke as he sets down the Blue Jays 1-2-3 in the 7th.
place, the roster spot anyway, of Miguel Sano, went to the 10-day DL. Before the game, Petit said that he was really excited. He's played in the big leagues before, gotten this call before, but he said every time he gets the same feeling like he's 22 years old. And Petit is actually 33 years old. He said he actually told Paul Molitor that too, that he's just feeling like a kid after this call. And that he had also not only never been to Target Field before, Petit had never been to Minnesota before. Got here today, seeing our state and our stadium for the first time, and spent last year with the Blue Jays and in their AAA system and in spring training. So Petit knows a lot of the guys, most of the guys that are on the field tonight for Toronto. And he said, you know, it's crazy timing, but Petit said, I believe in destiny. This is destiny for me right now, and I'm just going to keep enjoying this as long as I can.
Well, thank you, Marty. And he'll lead off the Twins' 7th inning, squaring the bunt, taking outside ball one. Yeah, last year for Toronto's AAA team in Buffalo, he had 253, 281 at bats. John Axford, former Milwaukee closer, pitching now for Toronto. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Axford still big, hard throwing right-hander. Fastball we saw there, a lot of movement. His issue has always been control the strike zone, but he's had good stuff.
Now there's a called strike 1 and 2. Now that we're a couple relievers into the Toronto bullpen, just flashing back to last night, we had a pitching change, and then the pitcher Aaron Loop had to change gloves. That was mandated by the umpires. The Twins had nothing to do with that. It was the umpiring crew that decided that the glove that he brought out, a light gray glove, was too light to be used in a game. And so we wanted to double check and to make sure that the Twins had nothing to do with that. And John Gibbons complied, or Luke complied. Petit off the glove of the pitcher, and Petit will have his second hit. Single in the second, hit a fly ball on the fourth, and now a single off of Axford's glove in the 7th.
Very nice night for his Twins debut for Gregorio Petit. Hits it sharply. Looks like that's going to be a base hit anyway. The pitcher gets in the way of it. And Petit's got himself a leadoff single in the bottom of the 7th, getting an inning started here.
Robbie Grossman is 0 for 3. He's hit 2 line drive outs. And I'm going to drop a big "I told you so."
I'll take it.
If he gets a blue hit.
I'll happily take it. So will Robbie.
Squaring, and he takes ball 1. Yeah, Petit can still run a little bit. We mentioned he's, in baseball terms, a little long in the tooth. But he can still run, and Grossman squaring to bunt. And hoping to drop down a sacrifice, at least if he stays with his bunt intent. He swings away and fouls it, 1-1.
You'll see that happen with managers a lot. They'll give the bunt sign on a ball. They'll take it off thinking that the opposing team, especially the pitcher, thinks the hitter's going to bunt. Means they'll throw a fastball in the middle of the zone to get the guy to bunt the ball somewhere. So that Paul Molitor takes the bunt sign off, so maybe Robbie can put a charge in one here.
Yeah, Petit just leans over and falls on the bag.
So either that happened, or Robbie Grossman missed the sign and wasn't supposed to be bunting on the first pitch.
That happens far too frequently, and probably more often than we are aware of up here. And an off-speed pitch over for a strike. Man, this Toronto staff so reliant on changeups.
Yeah, something soft. Yeah, that was a breaking ball there, but change-up speed for sure.
2-2. Hoping to expand the lead. They've learned through this tough stretch how costly it is when you don't add runs late in the game in a close ball game. And Grossman takes one down the middle of strike. Still plenty of heat from Axford, a lot of off-speed stuff, and then he zipped a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
With movement.
With movement for strike 3. One down, and that'll bring up Bauer.
So he all over the strike zone and around the strike zone, and nothing in the middle for Robbie. Kind of froze him there with that moving fastball, the upper reaches of the strike zone.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. Here's Bauer. Joe with a home run to right center field in the first, a fly ball in the second, then he hit a line drive to Diaz at short in the 5th.
Sure wouldn't mind getting Kepler to play with a couple of guys on here, as hot as Max has been.
Now at the knees, 0-2.
So now Joe's seen both pitches. He's got it right where he wants them.
In reality, the at-bat's just starting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the dirt stopped by Maley. Axford most recently with the Oakland A's for the last 2 years. And news today that next year Oakland and Seattle will open the Major League season in Japan. They'll be heading there March 20th, I believe. So they're going to be playing regular season baseball in Japan.
Well, that's great, but they take away a warm weather town and a dome stadium and start the season. That's great.
Pampered is short. They get one, and they get two. Nicely turned. Started by Diaz to Gurriel to Smoke, and the Twins are done in the 7th.
Blue Jays before heading out of town for an extended 3-city road trip. Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, starts at 11:30 tomorrow, right here on Fox Sports North.
4-3, Twins in front as we head to the 8th inning. CenturyLink, what's next? Marcus Stroman struggled so far this year. with an ERA of almost 9. And Fernando Romero will make his major league debut. A brief but impressive stint in AAA. And I think everybody who's heard of Romero is anxious to see how he's going to handle all this tomorrow.
Count me in on that one. I'm looking forward to watching him pitch.
Smoke, Solarte, and Pilar. 3, 4, and 5 batters for Toronto facing Addison Reed. As the Twins relay continues, 5 innings for Gibson, 1 for Presley, 1 for Duke, 1 for Reed, presumably. Breaking ball inside ball 1, and then 1 for Rodney. Lamar at center, and Kepler moving over to right. Missing again, down and in, 2-0.
Addison Reed has been very, very good this young season, first month of the season, with the exception of one unfortunate pitch. He's been terrific.
3-0. Gave up the walk-off home run to Carlos Gomez to wrap up the Rays sweep over the Twins. Now he falls behind Smoke 3-0, and we've seen a lot of the Toronto hitters get green lights. Back in the strike zone, Smoke takes, and it's 3-1.
My guess is that was that Smoke just didn't. He was green lighted, just didn't want to swing. There are a lot of guys that are like that. I don't understand it, but.
Well, now he'll hit against the extreme shift with Adrianza moving into left field. Twins did it in his first at bat, and then have done it after the first strike ever since. Strike 2. And Smoke still found some room, although they didn't shift him in the 5th inning when the Jays had base runners. 3-2 to the leadoff man here in the 8th. Missed inside, and it's a leadoff walk. And that will bring up Solarte. Missed with that breaking ball down and in early, and then at the end of the plate appearance.
Yep, threw him a lot of fastballs. Couldn't find the breaking ball on the inside corner when he needed it.
Solarte's 0 for 3. Hitless in 3 at bats against Kyle Gibson, and Gibson struck him out twice. Very high, ball 1.
This is the first stretch of semi-wildness I remember of Addison Reed this year. He generally comes in 7th or primarily 8th inning throwing strikes.
Twins will use their 3rd mound visit with Garver to the mound. Yeah, 4 walks, just 1 intentional on the season. And Adrian Johnson signaling that it's a mound visit charged to the Twins. Blue Jays haven't used one yet. Pitching changes don't count as mound visits. Now 2-0 to Solarte. He's thrown 9 pitches and just 2 strikes. Strike 1, 3-1.
Solarte took that pitch like he was green lighted as well. Looked like he was pretty aggressive striding into the ball, and it was just out over the plate. He wanted the ball maybe middle in.
And Tepera warming up. Drilled down the line and fair into the corner. Smoke round second. Kepler with a quick retrieve, and there are runners at second and third with nobody out. 2 almost predictable outcomes. You fall behind, you end up walking one guy, and then you on 3-1 throw a good hitter, a hittable pitch, and then he hits it.
Well, he saw a lot of fastballs. He knows exactly what the speed is. He's timed it, and he gets one right in his wheelhouse.
Twins will look like bring the corner infielders up for Pilar, who's walked, doubled, and lined out. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. Nobody out. High fly left field. Rosario back. There's the catch. And his throw coming to third base. Blue Jays have tied it after the leadoff walk. And we're tied at 4. One away. Runner at second. Sacrifice fly for Pilar. And now Gurriel will hit. Gurriel has lined out twice to center field and struck out. Over the inside corner. Swing and a miss. Morales has already done enough damage for one night. He might have a chance to do more. 2 strikes to Gurriel. Check swing 1 and 2.
I think they're trying to keep the ball in on Gurriel for the early strikes. He's hit the ball away. He's last night. He had some good swings at balls away from him. Twins changed their pitching style a little bit. Have been coming in on him. Now they're going to go back away for the strikeout. They wanted to.
Reed with just under a strikeout per inning. Coming into the game, 13 strikeouts in 14 innings. Well, if you can get Gurriel, then you can choose maybe to not pitch to Morales. But you got to get this guy.
Yep, this is a big out. No
2
question.
and 2. On the outside corner, a perfect pitch. Out number 2, and we'll see whether they even bother pitching to Morales.
Tried to hit the outside corner of the pitch before, and then came right back and got it that time.
Morales will be intentionally walked. First and second, 2 down. And Maley will bat.
Well, Maley's been swinging the bat pretty well, but you just can't let Morales hit again after a single and 2 home runs. There's all of a sudden he's seeing the ball really well, feeling great. He's a good hitter.
Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss.
Take your chances with this guy. With Addison Reed's stuff, pitch like that, if he can just make the pitches he wants to make, he'll get Maley out. Mistake hitter type of hitter. Pitching tough on the perimeter, you get him.
Took that one after swinging at the first one. Ball wide. Smoke walk, scored the tying run. Now 2-1 to Maley. 3-1. Aledmus Diaz on deck. And the walk, of course, would fill the base. Reed struggling with his control. 21 pitches, just 9 strikes.
And very uncharacteristic of the way he's been to start this season. He's been very good with strikes.
And now a full count. Solarte will lead from second. Morales from first. And we're about to see perhaps the biggest pitch of the game.
Yeah, big pitch. You got to make a pitch here. Get out of this inning with a score tied. Give the boys a chance to get another run or two and win the game.
Got him. And the Blue Jays get one, but leave two. We are tied at 4. And Max Kepler will lead off the bottom of the 8th. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. Well, Addison Reed kind of stalked off the mound and continued his tantrum in the dugout, upset, I'm sure, with his lack of control early in his 8th inning.
Veteran pitcher, good pitcher, winning type of guy, and he knows he can't come in and walk the first guy and go 3 balls on the next guy. Just uncharacteristic him. And the Twins are trying to get something turned around here.
Now we have an issue between Tepera, the pitcher, and home plate umpire Adrian Johnson, who I think suspended his warm-up tosses because of the time limit. Tepera looked like he wanted to warm up at least one more time, and Adrian Johnson said, no, you're done, we're ready to play. I've not seen that yet. The pace of play initiative to limit the time that a pitcher has for his warm-ups. Here's Kepler. A couple of weeks ago, Trevor Bauer of the Indians got caught in a similar spot. Didn't get the number of warm-up tosses he thought he should get. He ended up giving up what I think was the winning run in the inning, and expressed himself after the outing. Kepler takes strike 2. It'll be Kepler, Escobar, and Rosario. Down and away. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire, throwing a new baseball. says you got one more. And Tepera delivered that, then kind of angrily fired the ball to second base. Just outside 2-2. Kepler with a walk, a single, and he was called out on strikes his last time up. Marvin Alston trying to console Addison Reed. Dribbled in front of the plate. Mealy has an easy play, and he makes it one away. That'll bring up Escobar. Escobar with a double in 3 trips. His double came in front of Rosario's home run after the Twins had just fallen behind by a run. Solarte will swing over to the right side of the infield. With his double, Escobar is now tied for the league lead with a dozen doubles. Strike. And now a ball.
Tepera just trying to stay away from these first 2 hitters at least. Kepler and Escobar both have the ability to hit the ball in the seats. So he's trying to come up and maybe up and in.
2-1.
I think everybody knows that Eduardo Escobar is a good low ball hitter and not as good up in the strike zone. See Fernando Rodney ready to go. Twins need a run, get him in there.
Escobar tries to turn on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball and fouls it back to 2.
Yeah, it's a good pitch and a good swing. This power against power, 97 miles an hour, pretty good movement on it. Down in the zone where Escobar can catch up to it.
It's obviously with a losing month of April, trying to pick up their first win in the month of May. High fly, right field. Coming in is Hernandez. And that's the second out of the inning. Bring up Rosario, who has driven in 3 runs with a double and a 2-run home run.
2 of the best swings of the year for Eddie Rosario. Crashes one high off the right center field fence, and then a huge blow. Twins went down 3-2. Eddie got him right back ahead 4-3. 2 great swings in a row. See if he can keep it going one more time.
Swing and a miss. 0-1.
He had an idea about it. Put the bat head out in front, get it headed toward the right field seats, and see what happens.
A foul at the plate. Oh, 0-2. The Twins left fielder. On the ground, right to the second baseman, Gurriel. Tepera has a 1-2-3 8th inning. We head to the 9th, tied at 4. Packages are available that include a game ticket and Twins branded scrub pants. Go to twinsbaseball.com/scrubs to learn more about the Scrubs Night theme night offer. It kind of make me feel like a doctor, you know, if I can get a pair of those. I wasn't smart enough, couldn't afford to go to medical school, but if I got a pair of twin scrubs,
you might trick somebody.
I might fool somebody. And that's exactly what Fernando Rodney hopes to do here in the 9th inning in a tie game, fool some people.
Well, there's a lot of heat on Fernando Rodney right now. He's pitched way better than what it has looked like. His fastball's been good. His changeup has not been great yet. It will be, but he's still throwing hard. He's still got that great changeup, and he's pitched better than what he's gotten.
First man he'll face is the number 9 batter, Aledmys Diaz. And then Granderson and Hernandez. Changeup, and it's not been a disappearing pitch, no pun intended. It just hasn't used it as much, and he opened the at bat with it, threw it for a strike.
He's got a great changeup. He always has. He's had one for 20 years. It's been great.
Chopper to short, gobbled up by Adrianza, safe at first. The ball came up into Adrianza's heel of his glove, and that may have delayed the throw a little bit. We'll see if the Twins challenge that. The ball coming up just a little bit.
It was a good recovery and an on-target throw for having such a late grip on it.
They're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think you have to.
But I don't think they'll overturn it.
I don't think they can overturn it with that.
It's the 9th inning. You don't have anything to lose at this point. And as we used to say, the tie goes to the runner, and that looks to be exactly what has happened with the play at first and the call by Dan Bellino.
He got caught in no man's land there. Adrianza did it.
And you can see his foot is on the bag as the ball hits the back of Mauer's glove.
Oh, it's I don't know. I think he's out, but I don't think they can overturn it.
You think he's out?
I do.
By a frame, right?
Yep. I think he's out right there. Yep. By not very much space between the bottom of his foot and the bag, but I think they just got him, but it's too close to change, I'm pretty sure.
Boy, you know, the more I look at that angle, you can see Mauer's glove, the webbing billow.
Yeah.
Right there, but is his spike on the bag?
No. You can tell with the impact of the bag, his foot on the bag. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. It's still not there. Now, I think it just, I don't think they could possibly overturn it. After calling him, saying, if they called him out, they wouldn't overturn it that way either.
Well, it's such a huge call. It's a leadoff batter in the 9th inning. And in between the misplay by Sano and the home run by Gary Sanchez, there was a similar base hit in New York. Ball not hit well, not out of the infield grass, but that was an infield hit. And so there were 2 men aboard when Sanchez came up and hit his crushing 3-run home run.
Rodney's had his shot.
Out. Oh, my. Wow. I never would have guessed that.
Well, you just have to stick with me, Dick. I thought he was out.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd change it, but I thought he was out.
Mr. Conviction over there. So that is a huge challenge. Successful challenge.
So watch how Adrianza gets caught up. He can't get to that hop right there, so he has to wait for it, and then the ball comes up into the heel of his glove. So see the spin. If you don't get to that hop right there on the short hop, then you're going to get eaten up by that ball. And he actually makes a terrific play to stay with it. That's one of those little plays that shortstops will get and make errors on, and it's just you have to suck it up. It's just nothing you can do about it, because he couldn't quite get to that short hop, and then it would have been a really easy play. So when he didn't get to it, it jumped up into his glove and up the heel of his glove.
1-1 now to Curtis Granderson. And boy, has that overturned call ever changed the complexion of this inning?
Yes, it does. I just want to say one last time, that didn't look like a good play, but that was a really good play by Adrian. Stay with that.
Strike 2 call. Spent some time talking with Rodney about his changeup today, because Fernando Romero, tomorrow's starting pitcher, said he worked a lot with Rodney on his changeup, and it's the changeup that seemed to really impress the people in AAA enough to bring him a recommendation that he be brought north or up to the big leagues. And Rodney said he just kind of changed his grip, throwing the changeup with the same grip but across the seams. And he worked with Romero on that in spring training, and Romero says that his changeup has been greatly improved this year because of a little tutorial by Fernando Rodney. And boy, if you are a right-handed pitcher and you want to improve your changeup, what a great resource to have in camp.
You bet.
2-2. We'll talk more about that tomorrow with this game on the line, and Rodney trying to put Granderson away. Fastball got him. 2 down.
96. He's still throwing that fastball. And when you have that much fastball and as great a changeup as he's got, so you see the high fastballs, it shows him the changeup and then blows him away with a high fastball again.
Teoscar Hernandez is 0 for 4. A couple of ground balls, a fly ball, and a strikeout. One of the ground balls turned into a double play.
Rodney throws the fastball and the changeup with the same arm speed, the same slot. There's that changeup, and you're up there as a hitter just trying to decipher the speed out of his hand, because if you wait too long trying to think it might be the changeup that he throws the fastball by you, if you try to get out and get the bat head on the 95, 96 mile-an-hour fastball and it's a changeup, you've got no chance.
Busted bat. Adrianza slides, comes up firing, and Mauer unable to keep a foot on the bag. It'll be a base hit for Hernandez, and that will get Smoke to the plate. Adrianza slid to his left, sprang to his feet, but then fired off target.
Rodney gets way in on the hands. Adrianza with a nice play to go down and get it with a slide, but then when he comes up, pulls the throw across his body.
Looked like he had a hard time getting a grip on the ball there too. So a runner at first, 2 down, and Smoke, who has singled in a run and walked and scored. Mendez used to be a base stealer, but not recently.
Smoke has struggled, understandably, against Fernando Rodney.
That could be nothing more than guessing wrong in at-bats. Guessing changeup in
it would be so easy to guess wrong about 100 times in a row with Fernando Rodney, and if you guess wrong, you're out.
1-0 to Smoke, with most of you hoping that he doesn't guess right. Runner goes, and Garver can't find the grip, and Hernandez does steal second after his infield hit. The Jays almost got an infield hit to open the inning, and now they did get one from Hernandez, who promptly steals second.
Pretty good job by Hernandez. Moot point when Garver couldn't get the ball out of his glove cleanly.
fourth mound visit for the Twins. They have 2 left, unless or until we go to extra innings. Osuna and Clippard both pitched last night. One would think Clippard would get the bottom of the ninth if the Jays don't score. Osuna if they do. 2-0. Now a base is open, and Solarte on deck. Back with a fastball over the inside corner.
Boy, I'll tell you, if he was given the green light there and doesn't want to swing 3-0, I'll never figure that as a one time you can be 98% sure that you're going to get a fastball. And if you don't get it, so what? Man, I don't know why he wouldn't get the green light, and if he did, why he didn't swing it.
Now a walk. And Solarte will hit with 2 men aboard and 2 out. A couple of weak ground balls here in the inning. One for a hit, one a near hit, a strikeout, and a walk. And now Solarte, who doubled his last time up. Starts him with a fastball at 97. Strike 1. Smokes at first. Hernandez is at second. Tapper towards the hole. Adrianza has one play to Mauer, and he made it.
Outstanding.
Having to go to his backhand side and a long throw on target to get Solarte. The Twins have a chance to walk off the Jays when we come back.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
The Twins have completed 24 games this year, and incredibly, there have been 5 walk-off games. 2 for and 3 against. That's a very high number. And now the Twins have a chance to even the walk-off total at 3-3. Garver will lead things off against Clippard on the outside corner. Oh for 3 tonight. A pop-up and a couple of strikeouts. Just outside 1-1. I like Adrian Johnson's strike zone. I think it's been one of the best strike zones we've had.
It's been pretty consistent. He really has. I felt like he's missed a few, but for the most part, it's been pretty good.
Popped up near the mound. Smoke with the catch, 1 away. One at Target Field, one in San Juan. Max Kepler with a walk-off home run against Houston. The Twins won that series, consequently 2-1. And then Ryan Lamar in the 16th inning finally put an end to the ball game, and the Twins split that series with the Indians. Morrison is 1 for 3. Takes a strike at the knees.
Boy, it'd be wonderful for this young man if he could stumble into one. He needs something good to happen here.
Inside 1-1. Brian Dozier's on deck. Will hit apparently for Adrianza. John Curtis is warming up in the Twins pen. Down and away, 2-1. Twins at least have 3 bench moves. Lamar is already in. Castro is expected to catch tomorrow. And Dozier may hit, almost certainly will hit now here in the 9th, unless Morrison ends the game. Pulled into short right field. Gurriel throws him out, 2 down. So now Brian Dozier will hit for Adrianza, who went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He's been such a fixture in the lineup. He doesn't have the opportunity to pinch hit very often.
Testimony to he goes out there every game. It's one of the great attributes that he has. He plays nicked up. He plays when he's tired. He just goes out there and plays.
Paul Molitor said thought he would give Dozier a day off on Sunday because he thought Miguel Sano would be able to play. But when that didn't happen, Dozier had to keep playing in the throes of a 2 for 32 slump. Excuse me, 3 for 32. 1-0 inside. Right off the end of the bat, and Clippard has an easy inning, and we head to the 10th inning tied at 4. So the bullpen stretched a little thin. Brian Presley gave the Twins an inning, even though he threw 33 pitches last night. Trevor Hildenberger pitched 2 innings last night. So instead of Hildenberger, or for that matter, Taylor Rogers, it'll be John Curtis, who was just called up in time for the game yesterday. Had a clean inning in the 9th inning last night. A quick inning, and he'll face Pilar, Gurriel, and Morales. Ryan Dozier in the game at second base. And Petit, whose preferred position is shortstop, gets a chance to show us why here in the 10th inning.
Curtis has late inning stuff, no question about it. He's got a good arm and good stuff. It's just, again, it's just a question of command.
First pitch is up and away. Curtis only pitched a third of an inning last night through 7 pitches. Driven to the gap in right center field. And that'll go to the wall. Pilar has a double to start the 10th inning. And Pilar getting his second double of the ball game. He's been pretty much right on everything. He's got a walk, a double, a line out to right, and a deep fly ball that was a sacrifice fly in the 8th.
He's hit a ball right down the middle at 94, but Pilar's just hot. He's hit every ball on the screws for 2 games now.
So now he is tied with Escobar and Miguel Andujar for the league lead in doubles, and he's got 10 straight extra base hits. Corner infielders up, trying to keep the runner from advancing here, and there's a pitch low, ball 1 to Gurriel. Gurriel 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, 2 lineouts, and Curtis will try to strike him out here. Relief pitcher number 5 for the Twins. One and 0. Foul tip. And it's 1-1. Garver with an extended look into the Twins dugout. Swing and a miss. So you see all the signs touching of the chest protector. That's eventually the pitch sign. They're trying to fool or not allow the runner at second base to tip the pitch.
Correct. Sometimes the pitch will be in one of those touches. Sometimes one of those touches will mean it'll be the first sign or the second sign that he gives.
Again, such a big guy to get here because who's on deck? Morales is on deck. In the 8th inning, the Twins were able to strike out Gurriel and intentionally walk Morales. 1-2. Curtis to Gurriel. Very high. This is the 10th inning, so each team gets an extra mound visit. Garver will use one here. Each team gets an extra mound visit for every extra inning played. So the Twins were down to 2 when the 10th inning started. It went up to 3, and now it'll be brought back down to 2. Escobar joining the conversation. As soon as they break that up, it'll be 5-2. They've just added another mound visit for the Blue Jays. They have 6. And the Twins have 2 left. 2-2 to Gurriel. Popped up.
Catch it.
Out of my range. Garver on the follow through. Whacked on the back of the mitt.
That gets the bones in the back of the hand. You see this right there. It's going to hit him right in the back of the hand.
And Adrian Johnson giving Garver a little time. As he reached up to catch the pitch, which was kind of up and in, and as he was retreating his glove back down, Gurriel clipped him. 2-2. Breaking ball taken for ball 3.
Well, I know how he laid off of that.
Got to get this guy because you want to leave first base open for Morales.
Yeah, that was a good pitch right there to Gurriel. We've seen Gurriel strike out on that pitch at least 2 times this series. Somehow he's able to lay off. That was a good breaking ball there. Good try.
Full count with nobody out.
Try to go on the outside corner of the fastball here.
Pick off to second. And Petit, new to the ball club, sneaked in behind Pilar, but Pilar got back safely. Ooh, that was a strike.
Yeah.
Would have been called strike.
Yeah, that was an excellent pitch. Outside corner fastball. Ooh, came back in.
Pilar can run well. He's at second base after his leadoff double. Down and away. Gurriel did a nice job getting a piece.
We've seen him do that in these 2 games. We've seen him have some pretty aggressive swings on the ball away. They look like good pitches down and away for in the fastballs in the strike zone. And he kind of walks into the plate a little bit to go after that pitch. That's why he's been vulnerable inside.
Got him. 1 away, and Morales might as well leave his bat in the on-deck circle. He will be intentionally walked. First and second, 1 down. Second consecutive plate appearance where Morales has intentionally walked. And Mailey will come up, who struck out, leaving 2 men on in the 8th. Haley with a single and 4 trips. Curtis trying to get a ground ball hit at somebody and get out of this mess. Pilar to third, and he will steal successfully. And the pitch is called ball 1, and while the double play is still in order, now the Twins are susceptible, vulnerable to a fly ball.
Well, the pitcher just forgot about him a little bit. Petit had done a pretty nice job coming in behind Pilar when he was on second base, but when they swung around to the right-hander being played more to pull.
Really smart play by Pilar.
Pilar, yep, he just timed, noticed that Curtis wasn't paying a lot of attention, timed to look back to the plate and took off. A good jump, good play.
And now the runner from first goes to second as Morales tries to get hung up in a delayed double steal, but Garver never threw the ball. So there goes the double play possibility. And now first base is open again with the count 2-0. Pilar was ready to sprint home, and the throw was made.
So he stops, tries to get them to throw the ball down, get in a rundown, which is an interesting term with Morales running.
But Pilar's so fast, it wouldn't take much.
It wouldn't take much.
Right. Infield in now. The count's 2-0. 3-0. Aledmus Diaz will hit next.
A good chance he'll be swinging. He can't just throw one down the middle to get a strike.
Back. Hit right above the Twins radio booth. Either that or it hit Dan Glenn's glove. What?
Sounded the same.
Three and one. Miss, and the bases are loaded. Now no margin for error. Bases loaded, one down. The number 9 batter Diaz, and Garvin Alston's going to come to the mound.
left too soon.
Looks like McGill is warming up in the Twins bullpen behind Curtis. This will be mound visit number 6. The Twins will have one left. There's McGill. You see Rogers sitting down to the left. He apparently unavailable tonight. Hildenberger after 2 innings last night. And it's not the number of pitches. He had a couple of orderly innings, but you got to warm up twice. And the Twins trying to apparently stay away from Hildenberger as well. Baptism by fire for John Curtis. Second appearance of the year, last night being the first. And now after the double and a couple of walks, they're loaded up. Infield playing in about halfway. And the outfield shortening up as well. That kicks away from Garver, and a run will score. Oh, wild pitch, and Pilar scampers home, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
Just overthrew a breaking ball here, trying to make too great a pitch.
And now the Twins bring the infield all the way. 1-0 to Diaz. On the ground, Adrianza can't make the play there, or it's Petit rather, and Petit flips to Escobar, who can't handle the flip. And Gift Engope came in as a pinch runner for Morales, and he has scored. So an error should be charged to Petit. There's still only one out in the inning. And Petit with the infield in, tried to backhand it. They give him a base hit. Okay. It is a base hit for Diaz.
I don't know. It was in between in terms of where the ball was hit and what kind of play he'd be able to make. I don't understand the propensity for players going down to their knees on some of these plays where it looks like they can just catch the ball. But
the Jays lead by 2. Here's Granderson, and now that gets by Garver, and another run will score. Since the double, a ball hasn't been put in play. and yet the Blue Jays have 3 runs. There have been 2 wild pitches. Maybe that'll be a pass ball. I don't know.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that's a wild pitch. I think that's. Well, I don't know.
So Pilar doubled to start the inning, and since then it's completely unraveled. John Curtis will leave, and it is a wild pitch to allow the 3rd run of the inning to score. And McGill will come in as relief pitcher number 6. But then Morales intentionally walked. Maley unintentionally walked. There's been wild pitches, scratch hits, been a real mess, and now McGill will come in to try to do what he can to try to clean up the inning with the Blue Jays up 7-4. One to no to Granderson, and a ball lifted to left, and carrying fairly deep. Lamar on the warning track makes the catch, and the throw back to the infield strong, but not in time. 2 down. McGill survived the flurry of roster moves, and I guess we can get you updated on that as well. To get Petit on the 40-man and then the 25-man roster, the Twins had to make room. Dietrich Enns, who was acquired from the Yankees for Jaime Garcia last year, was designated for assignment. Doesn't mean his days as a Twin are gone, but he's subject to being claimed by someone else. And Enns is, you know, last year and again this year. In fact, he pitched last night and had a good ball game for Rochester. He might be a commodity somebody else will pick up, but the Twins had to make room on the 40-man to allow Petit to be brought up here to serve as a replacement for the disabled Sano.
You can see how that played out, why they needed him, and able to have Paul Molitor pinch hit Brian Dozier and have players to play in the field.
Popped up. Kepler now in right field makes the catch to end a messy top of the 10th inning. The Jays got 3 runs and they lead it 7-4. really good closer. We talked about him last night. He's young. He's really good. And he's off to a good start in 2018.
He is young. He is really good. Stats show it. He's got a great personality for the closing role. He comes right at the hitters with strikes. Throws hard.
Most saves in the American League since he jumped into the league. And Gregorio Petit will lead things off. Then Ryan Lamar and Joe Mauer, and the Twins hope a few more after that. First pitch lifted to right. Easy play for Hernandez. 1 away. 1 down in the 10th. And now Lamar, in his first plate appearance, he entered the game defensively with the Twins holding a 1-run lead at the time, and Lamar took over in center. Robbie Grossman left with Kepler moving to right.
I've got no problem with these Twins hitters coming up and swinging at first ball pitch. Even 3 runs down, Osuna's not going to walk. He's going to come right at you. But you have to be selective. You can't swing at balls that you can't hit, even if they're strikes. So in this situation, manager may not is obviously not making you take a strike. But to be a professional hitter, you got to hit like it's 2-0 or 3-1 on the first ball pitch when you're in this. That's not his pitch right there. Same thing with Petit. They're swinging at high fastballs.
2 real quick outs.
You make 2 quick outs on balls that you weren't getting. You had no chance of getting hits on.
And Joe Mauer will try to keep the game alive for the Twins. Mauer started the scoring with a home run in the first inning. Since then, 0 for 3. Well, you'd like to, at the very least, make the guy work. With a day game coming up tomorrow, we pitched last night. And if he gets out of here on less than 10 pitches, I would think he'd.
Well, Joe's going to take. I'm going to bet you Joe takes a pitch here.
Well, can he take 9 of them? I mean, you'd like to get the guy lathered up and maybe make him unavailable for tomorrow.
Well, I mean, you're still trying to win the game. You want it. He's not going to walk you. He throws strikes. So you pick out your pitch and sit on that. If it's not your pitch, you don't swing at it.
And now 2 strikes to Mauer.
Just because a ball is a strike early in the count, and this goes for the first inning all the way to right now in the 9th inning against the closer. Just because the ball is a strike on the first ball pitch doesn't mean you have to swing at it. But working the count doesn't mean you automatically take. I mean, you go up there first ball pitch and hit like it's 2-0 or 3-1. Take it if it's not right there.
Pretty hard, but retreating is Pilar, and he'll make the catch. And the Blue Jays have won the first 2 games of the series. And Osuna gets the save, throwing 6 pitches here tonight. Well, the Twins had some leads along the way. And Tom Hanneman, the Twins bullpen, had some issues. Ryan Presley pitched extensively last night, gave up a run in a repeat performance. Addison Reed had some. Addison Reed had some control issues early in the 8th inning, and it all ended up as another Twins loss.
Yeah, tough night for the Twins, Dick. 7-4 loss in 10. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Talk about Kedris Morales, a couple home runs. Rosario, some clutch hitting in this game. Reaction from the clubhouse, and we'll preview tomorrow's finale.